Sample the reading talking to the papyrus voice. Are you sure you want that? Anyways, hello Sampleton. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Trying to do the British accent in my cursed Italian papyrus voice. This has gone too far. How you doing, Sampleton? As you can see, it is Tuesday. We are not playing Splatoon because the stroke. Because the guns are doggy doo-doo and I don't want to play with them, as well as I'm getting a little burnt out on Splatoon lately, I'm not gonna lie. Hope this is okay. My keyboard is not working. Oh, because I'm tapped into the game. Hold on, there we go. Okay, now I can type in chat. Not as if I was going to type anything, but glad to hear you're doing well. I'm doing alright. The day has been a little long, but you know, it is what it is. At the end, it was stroke. I'm also a little too tired to play something as action as Splatoon, and I think I fear I might go cross-eyed again, like I did last week if I play Splatoon. So, also I haven't played Shibuya Scramble in a very long time, so it's best if I get around to it a little before I forget entirely what's going on in this game. Better not to burn out, especially with 3 around the corner. This is true. Once 3 comes out, we'll start streaming it more. I think I'm probably going to post a new schedule tomorrow. I haven't quite decided the specifics of it, but there will be an updated schedule. Anyways, has it been 2 minutes yet? I can't breathe doing the papyrus voice. It's only 1 minute ago. Alright. 1 more minute. Anyways, are you excited to be back with Shibuya Scramble? I don't remember anything. Oh, we got a bad end. Oh, I remember now. Tama couldn't win rock, paper, scissors because she always fucking threw scissors like a dumbass. It's been too winky. Yeah, but your points, okay, dude? Anyways. Yeah. It's Pegney. Pegney's in town now, and Pegney is kind of a raging bitch, honestly. Okay. I do remember where we left off, actually. We got a bad ending with Tama because she was trying to, gamble for the Burning Hammer box, but she couldn't get it because she physically could not fucking win rock, paper, scissors. She just kept throwing scissors. XD. So, it's fine. I got plenty. This is true, Sampleton. You are the 1% in this community. How many points do you have, out of curiosity? You know, you gotta report. It's tax season. You gotta report it. XD. I totally forgot about the rock, paper, scissors. I know, right? It's because specifically I got bad end. And she lost rock, paper, scissors, and then the Burning Hammer demo got trashed, and people were dead. XD. But yeah, now we know to do the rhyming game with Tama instead. My challenge, I mean, or I'll start from here. Taxes ate my nugs. Honestly, though, you know what they say. I don't know. I feel like there's some tax laws, you know, for rich people, you know. 289.7K. That's a lot, Sampleton. You still have so much after taxes. So total silence. This is fine. There's no background music. Okay, I address my opponent, and by challenge, I naturally mean let's have a straight up fight. No, we're not gonna fight this girl. She's a fucking boxer. Let's play a rhyming game. When do I get my nug return? April 18th. What? Oh no, that's Tags Day, XD. Can you hear me rapidly typing at my keyboard? Like, fuck, shit, fuck! I don't know the date. Let's play a rhyming game. Game. Huh? The girl says. She seems a bit put off by the suggestion. Apologies, let me check one thing real quick. Okay, cool. Yeah, I say, and if I win, you have to let me have all of these. A rhyming game? Really? Okay then, really. I heard the typing and I was like, think nug. you know me, and you hear me going, stalling and trying to bide for time. Time to tab out of the game, open the browser, and Google Tax Day. Silly. Okay then, listen, I'm a martial artist. Artist? Oh, that's a tough one. Aha! Smart test. Glow. No, what I'm saying is I'm a fighter. What? Okay, fighter shouldn't be too hard. I can do this. Just have to not panic. Let's see, writer. Aha! Okay. Scissors. What do you mean, scissors? Bruh. No! Wait, what the heck is going on? Crap, nothing rhymes with scissors. That's an illegal move. Scissors? Lizards. Scissor. Fissure. Scissor. I mean, in Japanese, maybe nothing rhymes with scissors. I drop into a fighting stance. Okay then, shall we fight? The girl grins back at me. Now you're talking. My name's Miku, by the way. Challenge accepted. Hatsune Miku! Lizards eat scissors. Exactly. GG easy. Miku and I march out of the shop out on the pavement. We stare each other down. So if you win, I'll let you buy the burning hammer, Miku says, but if I win, I get to keep it and you have to pay for it. Woo? Isn't that a little unfair? If you don't like it, then it's no fight, no deal. So, how did we end up in the fight situation? I don't have the time to rethink this. Alright. Ready whenever you are. Miku does a little brisk shadow boxing. Throwing a repeated 1-2 combination. Wait, there's a crowd now? Whoa, what's the deal? Is something going on? It's a street fight. A number of people pass by, including a businessman, a couple, as well as some pretty gruff-looking fellows. And some of them stop to form a small crowd. Oh, Achi and Hitomi Osawa, they pass by while running away from some mysterious foreigners. Oh, these are probably the guys that are on their way to beat up Yanagishita at the Burning Hammer demo. Asao Ozu and his underling Yutaro Segawa, members of the Tenryu Gumi Yakuza Syndicate. The Tenryu Gumi operates a lending firm called Takarada Financing, and these two have been tasked with collecting outstanding debts. They've already collected debt from one client today. They plan on grabbing lunch before heading off to find their next target. I'm not going to take the jump. I'm just going to keep going with Tama's story first. The sales demo has already started by now. I don't have time to goof around here. I watch as Miku starts up her footwork. I mean, you are wearing a big cat costume. Maybe you can, tank it. Hum! A left jab. She's quick. I can see why she's the champion. Aya! She immediately follows with a jab with a wide right hook. I jerk aside at the last possible moment and deliver a little swat to Miku's shoulder. Whoa! She slips off balance and pitches forward. Oh wow, what was that? The crowd has started clamoring. Miku rights herself and gets back into a fighting stance. What the? How? She doesn't even seem to know what just happened. That one dude with his cell phone out, XD. Oh, that girl too on the left. This time I watch as she unleashes a kick with her left leg from a distance. On reflex, I bring up my right hand and adopt a guarding stance. Gotcha, she calls out. It was a feint. Bonk. There's a visceral whomp as the second kick connects, coming at me from a different angle. There's... oh. Ooh, what gives? My big mascot head serves to cushion the blow to the point that I barely feel it. Yup. Hiya! She proceeds to unleash a string of additional kicks with her left leg, trying to defeat my fuzzy armor. Cat-like reflexes. Good one, Sam. Eventually, I catch hold of her foot, holding her off balance. I begin to walk her backward, making her hop awkwardly on one leg. Yo, Tama's kind of a beast. Kind of a Chad. Gwah! A casual flip of my paw, Miku goes whirling through the air. The crowd erupts into cheering and applause at the spectacle. Whew, you're tough. Who the heck are you? As you can see, I am a cat. A wry smile comes to Miku's face. To think a bride competitor would lose in a street fight. Guess it's time to go back to being an ordinary girl. What? Today is the day I retire, bruh. This game honestly constantly feels like it's off the rails. Like, everything about it is so dramatic. You feel me, Sam? Phew, good match there. Miku clasps my hand firmly, but hey, I'm just glad that my last opponent was you. Aww. Now, Kit, what? I hoist up the boxes of the diet drink. So, how much does this come to? I ask the sales clerk. He shakes his head. Don't worry about payment. You've more than earned it with that spectacular display just now. That was really something. Heck, even I'm shocked with what just happened. It's amazing what a little desperation will do for you. So that move you used, that was some Aiki Jujutsu, yeah? Traditional jab, okay. Me? Oh, I guess? I tilt my head non-committally. Come on now, no need to be so humble. I'm a martial arts fanatic. I know my moves when I see them. He can call it whatever he wants if it's letting me have the drinks for free. This is going to be a lifesaver. Is that all the shopping you'll be doing with us today? He asks. Actually, come to think of it, I do have one request, I say. Sure thing. Could you please not sell that necklace there? I promise I'll be back to buy it later. Sure, no problem. The sales clerk gives a deep bow. I did it. I managed to solve my burning hammer problem. Now I've just got to get back to the sales demo. Oh, that must be awfully heavy. Here, why don't you use that dolly? The sales clerk indicates the hand truck over in the corner. Well, thanks so much. I load the pile of boxes onto the cart and rush back to the Nokane building. By now the sales demo will be well underway. I need to get back as soon as I can. If there's nothing to buy, the customers are going to leave, and everything I've gone through will have been for nothing. Come on, Tama, you can do it! Just gotta hurry. I charge for the demo, pushing the dolly ahead of me like a battering ram. Boink. Oops, sorry to keep you waiting. You're late. What the heck have you been doing? Mr. Yanagishita practically throws himself at me. The wind must have been killing him. Standing behind him is a man I don't recognize. There is the Minorikawa jump. But we're not going to jump. Who is that guy? He doesn't look like a customer. Okay, Tama, just come with me for a minute. I follow... bad inflection. Come with me for a minute. I follow Mr. Yanagishita into the break room. Sorry I'm late. There was a whole bunch of stuff that happened, but look, I got the product back. I proudly open up one of the cardboard boxes. Ah, it's Burning Hammer! It really is! Yanagishita clutches the box closed, nuzzling it with his cheek. How's the demo going, I ask. I've got Chitty keeping them occupied with some magic tricks. Wow. I sneak a peek through the door and see Chitty guzzling orange juice from a gigantic container, draining it in one go. Dude, that's impressive. Is that really a magic trick? If it buys us time, it's magic enough, eh? Before long, the last of the juice is gone. Over in the corner of the stage, I see 6 more huge containers, all likewise empty. It's shocking to think that she may have drank all 7 of those things dry. The audience erupts into sincere applause like they've forgotten what they originally came here for. Chidi comes to the break room, positively drenched in sweat. Ugh, I think I should have stuck to doing imitations for a little longer. No, that was fantastic, Chidi, Mr. Yanagishita says. Just fantastic. Thanks to you, we had enough time to get the burning hammer back. He bows profusely. Alright, now it's time for the main event. Chidi, go out there and guzzle down some burning hammer. Get yourself all drenched in sweat. Got it? Aye aye, boss. And Tama, just go up there, smile as big as, and say, this helped me lose a bunch of weight too. She's in a cat costume. Got it? Got it. Good, now then, Yanagishita gestures to the man who I hadn't noticed before, who's been waiting quietly nearby. Of course, begging your pardon, miss, was a service rep from the rental shop who proceeds to try to get me out of the mascot suit. Masamichi Fukuma, employee of Far East Costume. I almost said customer. Customer rentals, that's weird. Oh, that sounds like human traffic. Oh, we're not going there. Far East Costume Rentals. The only son of company president Shigemichi Fukuma. He's one of the few people who know what Shigemichi looks like, as his father is usually clad in a rabbit costume. That's weird. Masamichi has harbored a strong dislike for both his father and mascot costumes ever since the old man showed up at school on Parents' Day when you're dressed in the inevitable rabbit suit. Nonetheless, the son has acquiesced to his father's wishes, and someday he'll inherit the family business. Poor dude. Oh, that's hot. The rental guy tilts his head. What's the matter? Yanagishita asks nervously. Yeah, this is a no-go. The rental guy poked his finger at the back of my suit. This here zipper? It's all jammed up. It's going to take a long time to get this thing off. What the hell? Mr. Yanagishita clutches the sides of his head. The rental guy tries tugging at the costume from various angles, hoping to free up the zipper, but like he said, it's no use. The rental guy's eyes widen at the sudden sound of a cat's mewling. Was that you? He looks at me confused. Did you hear a cat meowing? Yes. Was it you? No, not me. I'm as surprised as he is. Must be hearing things. Mr. Yanagishita and Chidi don't seem to have heard anything. Yanagishita is fuming. Just my luck. Finally find a cute model and the crowd's never gonna see her. Hey, boss? Chidi says, the customers are gonna leave if you keep them waiting much longer. What do we do? Want me to go out there and do some more impressions? Chidiko's repertoire of impressions: a sea lion yawning, a harbor seal hailing a cab, a walrus reading sutras, a fur seal who can't reach the itchy spot on its back, a stellar sea lion taking a nap. That's funny. No, we don't have any choice. Tama, you're just gonna have to go out there and dress like that. Are you sure, I ask? If those people go home, we're done for, he exclaims. Just get out of here and get started. I'm counting on you two. Ladies! Terribly sorry to have kept you waiting. Chidi and I spring into action on stage. But now, I'm proud to introduce you to the worldwide sensation, Baninama! The latest product from the West that has taken the diet world by storm. Every seat in the house is packed. That means there's about 40 people here. We only need to sell 5 bottles to each customer in order to sell out. I'm hit with a sudden jolt of motivation. Allow us to explain just how this revolutionary new diet drink works its magic, Chidi begins. The plan is for me to describe how the drink works, and then Chidi will demonstrate it with a taste test. A walrus reading sutras. I love it. Why were all of her impressions like walrus and seals? I feel like they're making a jab at Chidi. I liked the one about the reaching the itchy spot on its back. All eyes are fixed on us. I begin. For the first time in human history, you can drink a single bottle and lose a whole kilo. Just drink and burn that excess weight away. Astonished gasps rise up from the crowd. Just take a look at this marvelous red liquid. Even looking at it makes you feel like you'll be shedding weight, right? Here's how Burning Hammer works. It activates the capsaicin? What is this? A primary spice component of chili pepper is said to be effective for improving blood flow and stimulating the burning of fat. Because it's a severe skin and eye irritant, it's also the ingredient in some forms of pepper spray for personal defense. Is this a real thing? I'm gonna Google this real quick. Capsaicin? It is! C18H27NO3. How do you pronounce this? Oh, it's capsaicin.
Capsaicin.
I don't know if you heard it just now. I pressed the audio thing on Google. I think they roasting her too. They're calling her chonky. She's cute. The itching one sounds very goofy. I feel like, well, actually no. Imagine if seals get an itch on their back, they just roll over on a rock, right? Today I learned capsaicin. I heard. Okay. Capsaicin. Thanks, Google lady. Sorry, space out for a second. But yeah, today we learned. I pause to take a deep breath before continuing. And rapidly breaks down the triglycerides responsible for causing obesity. Again, the crowd hums with excitement. This response is better than I could have hoped. We're off to a terrific start. And now, this young lady here will demonstrate Burning Hammer's effects before your very eyes. Chidi steps into the spotlight. Just wait till you see how much she sweats, proof that the fat is being burned right there on the spot. Chidi holds a bottle of Burning Hammer up high. Cheers, she says. As she opens the bottle, however, one of the women in the front row speaks up. Hold on, she's already sweating pretty hard. She's right, Chidi's drenched in sweat from head to toe. Another woman chimes in, suspicious. That juice drinking from earlier, that was just to make her sweat like that, weren't it? All of a sudden the crowd is in an uproar. Bruh, aunties. No, not at all. Drinking Burning Hammer makes you sweat way more than this. I rush a towel off Chidi's sweat for her. Go on, hurry up. Drink it down. Chidi's face screws up unpleasantly as she gulps down the bottle. And the sweat doesn't come. Why isn't it working? I exclaim, the audience momentarily forgotten. Guess I've already sweated out too much, Chidi replies, unfazed. Well, why were you sweating so much? Look, you were taking forever at the 100-yen shop! The crowd shifts from uproar into riot. Did she say 100-yen shop? Scowling customers begin to close in. No, that's not it. You've got it all wrong. Please just listen. Oh, we can see what's going on here. The situation has gotten out of control. Look, this product is so valuable that a 100-yen shop is about the only way we could get it. Uh-oh. I think I just put my foot in it. The customers glare at me, their eyes bright with rage. Please let me apologize. Asking for forgiveness seems to be my only option. Haha, just kidding. That's just a joke. I just gotta play this off smooth. Hunk of lamb chop. It's a clumsy attempt to force it off, but it's my only option. Let's pretend it's a joke. Oof! Threw themselves under the bus with that one, eh? Haha, kidding, haha, so funny, That was just a joke. I've gotta play this off smooth. I mean, seriously, there's no way you'd find something this high quality in a 100-yen shop. Why don't you just say you went to the 100-yen shop for something else? Sweat is streaming down my brow. Really now, says one woman in the crowd. How about we find out? She takes out her cell phone. I know someone who runs one of those stores. Wait, let's not be hasty now. Why, what's wrong? Oh, it's just, you don't need to go out of your way like that. You said you were joking, didn't you? So it shouldn't matter if I make the call, right? Well. I slip into a nervous coughing fit. I'm absolutely sweating bullets inside my cat suit now. Tama! Shouts Mr. Yanagishita as he rushes out of the break room. What the heck are you doing? Abort! Abort! He howls! If you let these people know the truth about this stuff, they'll never buy it. You probably shouldn't shout that, my brother. Uh-oh. Now you've done it. Chidi doesn't hesitate to point the finger at him, her stare furious. Whoops! Realizing he just blurted out what he just blurted out, Mr. Yanagishita is aghast. There really is no saving this. Customers descend upon Mr. Yanagishita, their wrath a terror to behold. So then it is true. What the hell are you trying to pull? I can't believe you tried to sell this crap for these prices. The throng goes on the attack. Chidi and I force our way through the angry mob, hoping to find someone to calm these people down. Cursing and profanity fill the air. The shouts are accompanied by merciless, open-handed slaps. Everybody just screwing up today. I know, right? Oh my god. Poor Chidi can't... Not Chidi. Tama can't catch a break, can she? I get all jostled and tumbled about, and my mascot costume takes a bad beating. Can't save her from these ladies. Finally, the storm passes. It's over. It's all over. Mr. Yanagishita wails to the empty room. So, boss? About getting paid. Even Chidi seems hesitant to ask. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, obviously. Yanagishita doesn't so much as look up, shoulders slump further in defeat. I'll take my payment in kind, then, Chidi said. Mind if I take this burning hammer home with me? Sure, Yanagishita says lifelessly. Go right ahead. Right, I'll be off then. Later, Tama! Chidi picks up the cardboard boxes and heads out. Sir? It's the man from the rental place. I believe you still owe me for the costume rentals. Right. How much was it again? Yanagishita rummages in his pockets. Well, given the severe damage, I'm afraid I have to add the full cost of the cat suit to your bill. Your total comes to 200,000 yen. What? That's a lot of money. Was it? 200 yen? No, sir, 200,000. Hmm? Sorry, I can't hear at all. I think I might have ruptured my eardrum. 200,000 yen, sir! Okay. Yanagishita takes all the cash in his wallet and holds it out reluctantly. That's only 20,000, sir. The rental guy furrows his brow. I'm afraid this won't cover it. I understand that, but I don't got no more than this. Don't got no more? Sir, please, you're not a child. Give me a discount. Make it 20,000. Instead of the 200 you owe. You know, I can't do that, sir. But Mr. Yanagishita refuses to back down. I think everyone could use protection of a cat costume right about now. I feel like mascot costumes, though, high key. I wonder, like, in a fight, how much would they actually deflect? Because they're kind of like metal, or like they've got like metal wiring and frame, no? That's right, insurance. I got insurance in the event the suit wound up damaged. No, you didn't. No, I did. You did not, sir. I did. Then where's your paperwork to prove it? Yanagishita calmly claps a hand to his chest. Right here. The paperwork is here inside my heart. The rental guy clutches the sides of his head in exasperation. Believe me, I feel his pain. You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna leave this to my boss. Shigemichi Fukuma, president and owner of Far East Costume Rentals. Okay. Turning his back on the ruins of the sales demo, he slumps his way out of the room. Now it's just me and Mr. Yanagishita. Please try to not let it get you down so much, sir, I say as cheerfully as I can muster. He's already down on the floor, a sobbing mess. You wouldn't know what it's like to feel so utterly hopeless. I think I might have an idea, sir. In fact, I'm sure of it. At this point, there's nothing more I can possibly do. He slumps forward, something. Things will turn around soon enough, I'm sure. You don't know me like I know me. There's not gonna be any turnaround, not after this. Okay, now this little pity party's starting to piss me off. You know, if you think you're the only person who's had a run of bad luck, you are dead wrong. I wind up shouting the words louder than I intended. Mr. Yanagishita whips his head back up. Yikes, where did that come from? I need to tell you something. My pent-up emotions come surging to the surface. I have amnesia. Yanagishita's eyes go wide. What? I can't remember anything from before this morning. My name, how old I am, where I live, any of it. I would much rather be in your shoes, sir. Mr. Yanagishita looks up at me with a hint of disbelief. What? So where'd you get the name Tama, then? I thought of it when I saw the tamagoyaki in those lunch boxes. Oh. Tama is, is a very strange name. Aha, tamagoyaki, Tama. I get it. He claps himself on the thighs as if he's had some big eureka moment. But wait. How come you lost your memories? Well, I don't know for certain, obviously. I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure it took a hard blow to the head. When I came to, I was inside of a storehouse with a massive headache. What? A storehouse? Is Tama Hitomi? A surge of vertigo washes through me as I recall waking up in that strange dim place. Or not Hitomi, her sister, Maria. Is she the kidnapped one? Yeah, I had just gotten out of there when you flagged me down, sir. Really? So it's pretty unnerving then, not knowing who you are. He sounds like he's talking to me seriously now. Yeah, it sure is, but it's not going to do me any good to just fret over it. And besides, I've got a clue. What sort of clue? The necklace? It must have been hers, I guess. There's a necklace I saw at a knick-knack shop. The same place I found the burning hammer. Somehow I know that it's important to me. And so you took this shop so you could afford to buy it. Plot twist? I mean, we were probably coming up on one soon. I know Life Iris mentioned that, this story is full of major twists, but we're gonna be hitting one of the major twists soon, so who knows? We'll see! Of course, now that the job has ended in a total bust, I've lost my shot at getting it. Okay then, I mean, why didn't you just ask the shop owner for it? Mr. Yanagishita removes his shoe, then yanks out the insole. This here is really the last of my money. He pulls out 20,000 yen, adds it to the other 20,000 from his wallet, and thrusts it all toward me. Here you go, he says. That includes the reimbursement for the burning hammer you picked up. Oh, that's nice of him. I pluck up two of the 10,000 yen bills between my fingertips. I actually didn't have to pay for it, so the 20,000 we agreed upon is fine. How about you, sir? Are you gonna be okay? Like, after all this? Compared to your misfortunes, mine are nothing. Time to grab the popcorn! Can I get some too with a little salt? Wait, he's nice. I know, right? We all thought that Yanagishita was the Chad, but he's not. They might send me up the creek. They might send me up the creek without a paddle, but I'll bounce back somehow. I'm sure of it. And then, clutching his fist, Mr. Yanagishita gets a far-off look in his eye. And then one more time, I'm gonna go see a bride fight. My jaw nearly drops. Bride, like the martial arts pub? Wait, you know about Bride? Man, I've spent so much money at that place. Wow, it is a small world. Especially that Miku. I wonder how much she has made me spend. Bruh. Miku, huh? pretty sure I just accidentally forced her into a retirement. I decided to keep it quiet on that front. He nods. To be honest, the reason I borrowed all that money was to pay my tabs at that place, bruh. And I had to borrow from some pretty shady sources too. I can't help but suspect that poor guy got a real raw deal. Okay, never mind. He's a little bit of a creep. Why don't you take that mascot costume with you? I mean, I don't really need it. No, I insist. Take it with my blessing. Sure. I'll be on my way then. Okay, we gotta place bets on who we think Tama is. I kind of think Tama is Maria. Tama's definitely someone that we've encountered and like we've either heard by like other characters, like their word of mouth. But I think Tama's a character we already know in the story. Meow. I hate my life. Hi, Gutsin. How's it going? Gutsin, you missed the meow from this game. Yeah, there literally was a cat meowing, like, cause Tama's in the cat costume, and like the costume rental guy was trying to help get her out of it, and he suddenly was like, "Then there's a cat. I heard a cat meowing," and they were like, "Am I the only one that heard the cat meow?" It was kind of funny. Oh no, I don't want to jump. We're not gonna jump to Minorikawa yet. But other than that, hope everything's going well for you on this Toxic Tuesday, Gutsin. Out in the hallway, I passed by the man I noticed earlier, the one I didn't recognize. Odd, the sales demo's over. I wonder why he's still here. I give him a faint nod and he nods back before slipping into the demo room. I should keep my fingers crossed for the guy. At last, I'm back outside the building. I feel bad about not returning the catsuit to the man from the rental place. Still, I can't just walk around town wearing this thing. I'll stick out like a sore thumb. I figure it's best to just leave it behind. And then it dawns on me. Hold on, I still can't get this thing off. It's time I skin this cat. I need to get rid of this costume, whatever it takes. It's not worth the struggle. Guess the cat's staying in the bag. I figure I'll head to the knick-knack shop as is. I feel like B is the correct answer, but I'm curious about A, so we're gonna try A. So hold up, I just realized my keyboard, something gross on it. It looks like, oh, I think it might have been chapstick. Cause like I use like the Vaseline chapstick, so I use like my finger to like put it on, and I think I got a little bit on my keyboard. I'm gonna wipe my finger off all the way. Here we go. Okay, yeah, I think the skin the cat is the wrong answer, but I'm just curious about it. Restart the save just so I can see it? Say less. Never dare me to do something. I was kidding. See, I ain't no coward. I don't back off. I don't back down. Oh, it's actually... I'm at the wrong section. There it is, though. Meow. I don't think we can skip to it because it doesn't have the little book pagey thing on it. Oh, we can skip to here. XD. Can you guys hear me button mashing the spacebar? Now I'm using the enter key. Okay, this was a bad plan. It's so slow. I'll turn the audio up extra loud as well for this part. Okay, that's as loud as it can go, Ixie. What's the matter, Yanagi? What's the matter? Trying to go somewhere? Yeah, this is a no-go. The rental guy pokes his finger at the back of my suit. This here zipper is all jammed up. It's going to take a long time to get this thing off. What the hell? Mr. Yanagi clutches the sides of his head. The rental guy is tugging at the costume from various angles, hoping to free up the zipper, but like he said, it's no use. The rental guy's eyes widen at the sound of the cat's mewling. Was that you? He looks at me confused. Did you hear a cat meowing? Yes. Was it you? No. Okay, now we're done. Meow! Aggressively meows. Okay, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's not worth the struggle is the right answer, because in this game, everything that seems like the wrong answer is the right answer. But we're gonna go with the it's time I skin the cat. It's time I skin this cat. I need to get rid of this costume, whatever it takes. I take hold of the head in both hands and yank it upwards as hard as I can. Oh, please tell me I'm not just imagining things. The head feels a whole lot looser than it did before. If I give it a good push, then maybe. It comes off. I did it! I slip out of the rest of the cat costume and gleefully abandon it as I head for the knick-knack shop. We get to see what Tama looks like? Oh my god, I'm being fucking cat blocked. That was very meowsing. Very meowsome. You guys crack meow up. The entire stream meowed to that moment. That's a disappoint meowed that we don't get to see what Tama looks like. Okay, we'll take the jump from... What was the first... We'll take the jump to Achi. Which one was the Achi jump spot? I think it's the fight. Yeah, Achi. We'll jump to Achi now. Oh! I didn't hit tab before I hit enter there. Achi, achi, achi. Wait, I can't? Why not? Why not? That's so rigged! Oh, I'm molding. Okay, what's the other? There was another jump up here, I think. This one goes to Minorikawa. Yeah. Let's go to Minorikawa then. Okay, that's a valid jump. Oh, wait, did we already make this jump before? I'm like confused what we have and haven't done. I think we've made this jump before, actually. So we can't jump to Achi, that's disappointing. Okay, then we jump to Minorikawa again, I guess. There's a big hole in on the elbow of my turtleneck. Time to throw it away. Okay. What? It's an invalid jump? What? Why? Why? I mean, this is still a Minorikawa jump. What the heck? I'm confused. Why can't I jump? Can I just play from here? Arriving at the demo. Long last, he arrived at the Nakane building where the event was being held. Wall by the elevator was plastered with posters about Burning Hammer. Get it or regret it, as seen in magazines. 100% weight loss guarantee. This is blatantly false advertising. The messaging was kind of a mess. It felt like they'd been thrown together at the last minute. Minorikawa avoided the elevator in favor of the stairs, rushing up to the event site on the 3rd floor. Emerging from the stairwell, he saw more posters on the wall pointing the way to the sales demo. He followed the arrows to a room deeper within the building. Sam Meowpleton. Opening at the door, he saw about 50 chairs, most of them occupied by female attendees. There was a stage set up at the far end of the room, but nobody was on it. It appeared that the event had yet to begin. Minorikawa quickly looked over at the crowd. Roughly half the women were somewhat elderly. All of them looked like they could stand to lose some weight. Bruh. I feel like I've read this before, no? And for some of them, at least, that ship had surely sailed a long time ago. For a moment. And for some of them... Oh. The crowd gazed at the stage with rapt anticipation. The beverage that allowed you to eat plenty and still lose weight was definitely an appetizing proposition. Could something like that really exist, though? Ah, well... Minorikawa was just going to have to wait and see. He did his best to get his mind into journalism mode. Time passed, but the demo didn't start. The audience began grumbling in frustration. Then a heavy-set young woman took to the stage and gave a little bow. It was the girl from the cafe, the one with the amazing appetite. The audience broke into applause, their patience finally rewarded. But as everyone leaned forward, expectantly, the girl on stage began performing magic tricks. She twiddled a silk hat, pulled out a bunch of flowers from inside it. Sparse applause rose up from the crowd. The young woman immediately went on to perform another trick, and then another. Ta-da! A coin in her hand became 3 coins as she spoke her magic words. She's not very good at this, Minorikawa had thought. Though whether she was good or bad wasn't really the issue, he had a tight schedule to keep. This was no time to stand around watching silly sleight of hand antics. Scanning the room, he spotted the man who looked like he was probably in charge. Minorikawa headed over to him. Hey, you the one running this thing? Well, yes. When's the actual sales demo going to start? Soon, very soon. Yeah. In how many minutes? You know, soon. I asked for a number. Just, soon. This was getting nowhere. 3 minutes, Minorikawa declared. He held up 3 fingers to emphasize his point. If this thing doesn't start in 3 minutes, if it doesn't start, then what? A, I'm gonna be heartbroken, I'm just gonna start a ruckus, I'm gonna go home. I'm just gonna go home. He kept his tone clipped and cool. Hey now, no need for that, sir, just settle down. Who doesn't like silly little magic show now and then? You've got 2 minutes. Hey, a minute can't have passed already. 1 minute. Whoa, just what kind of watch you got there? Tell me why the demo isn't starting. No real reason, really. The man was getting seriously flustered. I just, wanted folks to get to see a magic show first. Nope, try again. 30 seconds left. Okay, alright. What happened is, the required merchandise, what happened to the merchandise? Minorikawa demanded. He gave the guy a dagger stare. Oh, well, you know, it's just, time's up. What? The man's face went pale. Oh, keep out, bruh. But how did we hit a keep out on Minorikawa if we've gone through as far as we did on Tama's story? Interesting. I guess... Can we jump from here to Minorikawa's story? This seems appropriate, right? Because then he'll see Tama bringing the stuff and... Yeah, this should be right. It should be jumpable now. If it's not, I'm gonna actually flip a shit. There we go. Ah, whoops, sorry to keep you waiting, a girlish voice exclaimed. A moment later, a furry figure came charging into the demo room. The crowd fell silent at the sight of a young woman in a cat costume. The cat girl panted visibly, her arms were loaded with cardboard boxes. Where did I get hooked from? You're late, the event organizer snapped. What the heck have you been doing? Grabbing the newcomer by one paw, he vanished with her into the back room. One paw. The chubby chick girl wrapped up her magic routine and hurried after them. The audience stared at the now empty stage in confusion. Several minutes passed before the organizer reappeared. Ladies, terribly sorry to have kept you waiting, he called out, but now I'm proud to introduce to you the worldwide sensation that is Bunny Hammer! At his signal, the young woman and the cat appeared on stage. Allow us to explain just how this revolutionary giant drink works. It's magic, the young woman exclaimed cheerily. The cat nodded and threw out her arms. For the first time in human history, you can drink a single bottle and lose a whole kilo. Just drink and burn that excess weight away. And with that, the sales demo was underway. A good 25 minutes behind schedule. Five minutes into the presentation, things began to go awry. An angry clamor filled the room. What the heck are you trying to pull? I can't believe you'd actually try to sell something like this. The outrage had been triggered by something the young woman on stage had said, XD. She inadvertently let it slip that a burning hammer was the sort of thing you could buy at a 100 yen shop. The would-be customers were furious to learn they were about to be played for suckers. Most of them had immediately tried to storm out of the room. Now, the organizer, the full-figure young woman, and the girl in the cat costume were at the door, doing their best to hold back the tide. Things had gotten pretty interesting, really. Minorikawa pulled out his digital camera and started filming snapshots of the angry crowd. Unfortunately, their frenzy was so intense that he was soon caught up with the flow and pushed out of the room. Fine, guess I'll just need to do some interviews instead of getting pictures. Excuse me, he asked one of them, would you mind if I ask you some... Shut your mouth. Do you mind telling me a little about... Don't talk to me! If I get a word on unbelievable, just unbelievable. The woman was so enraged that Minorikawa couldn't get any of them to give him the time of day. Eggsy. So I guess that's what was supposed to happen. Before long, the entire crowd had surged out of the room and departed. Ah, well, I guess I got enough to do a write-up at least. Though it would be nice to get a quote from somebody. He decided to try for an interview with the man who'd organized this fiasco. How did the guy feel, for instance, about how his product scam falling through? Heading back into the event room, Minorikawa passed the cat mascot. Okay, we are jumping to Tama. Let's fucking go! This should unlock her story. already read this, so I'm just gonna... Okay. Okay, this is where we had a keep out last time. It comes off. And Minori was gonna interview her. I did it. I slipped out of the rest of the cat costume and gleefully abandoned it as I head for the knick-knack shop. Okay, so this was our keep out. What? Again? Bro. Damn, okay, I kind of thought that we would be out of this one. Okay, we go back to Tama, I guess. I guess the Minorikawa and Tama story for this hour is just very, very parallel, so they bounce back and forth a lot, so it doesn't matter who you're on. Like, you could either bounce from Tama to Minorikawa, but also in the exact opposite direction, you could bounce from Tama to Minorikawa. Like they're basically equal jumps, equivalent jumps. That's the word. Dang, none shall pass. You shall not pass. Okay, sorry. The cat gave him a tiny nod and walked off without a word. He couldn't see the face of the girl inside the costume, but she seemed genuinely dejected that Burning Hammer had been a bust. Hey, I'm Minoru Minorikawa, freelance reporter. I was wondering if I could have 5 minutes of your time. The organizer sat alone in the midst of his ruined displays. Oh, it's you. The man's voice had lost all of its earlier punch. Here, my credentials. Minorikawa handed him a business card. The man introduced himself as Yanagista. Minorikawa got right down to business. So your sales demo is over, Mr. Yanagista. How do you feel right now? How do I feel? Well, tomorrow's another day, I guess. Minorikawa was impressed by this guy's candor. I'm a little surprised to hear that, he said. I figured you'd be more disappointed. Oh, I'm plenty disappointed. I took a big gamble here to pay my debts, and I lost. Yanagista didn't seem to be trying to hide anything. Debts? Minorikawa asked. There was a girl I was in love with. Ooh, Yanagista said. I wound up spending everything on her. He said as he stared wistfully into the distance. Interesting, Minorikawa said. You wouldn't be the first man to go to such lengths for women. Yeah, Yanagista said. I suppose not. A rueful smile crossed his lips. This guy didn't strike Minorikawa as some dyed-in-the-wool scam artist. But I decided it was time to stop feeling sorry for myself, Yanagista went on. There are plenty of people in the world who have it way worse off, you know? You got that right. Minorikawa nodded in agreement. So I just figure, well, as long as I'm still alive, maybe another opportunity will come my way. A more earnest smile broke through Yanagista's forlorn expression. Minorikawa wished Toyama could have been there to hear this fellow. I have a friend who's in an incredible amount of debt myself, Minorikawa said. He runs a publishing company, but there was a big mix-up with the scratch cards in his magazine, and... Scratch cards? It's not important, Minorikawa said hurriedly. Letting more people know about the whole scratch card fiasco certainly wouldn't do Toyama any favors. Although I gotta fix my headset, it's like sliding off my head. Anyhow, debt is a terrible thing. Minorikawa nodded sagely. I almost said sagely. Sag. Oh, by the way, this is unrelated, but... Are you familiar with a group called SOS? Apparently there's some legendary street gang here in Shibuya. SOS? Yanagista shook his head. No, never heard of them. Guess I'm not gonna get any leads on that case here. Minorikawa wondered if there was anything else worth asking this guy. Maybe Yanagishita would be willing to take his Shibuya Now survey? Might as well. Maybe Yanagishita would be willing to take his Shibuya Now survey. Taking a little bit of the burden off Chiaki seemed like a good idea. Uh-oh, but what if the mobsters show up and then they beat up Minorikawa and I die because I lingered? It's possible. I have another question. How do you feel about your life right now? Me? How do you feel about your life? Your products aren't selling, you can't repay your debts, and yet you still refuse to give up, believing opportunity will come your way. So how do you feel about all that? Yanagishita paused and thought. I'd say I'm a pretty lucky guy. Minorikawa was somewhat taken aback by that response. I haven't been able to sell any burning hammer, and sure I can't pay off my debts, but even so... Yanagishita looked Minorikawa right in the eye. The two cute young girls I've got working for me have stuck with me through thick and thin. Sometimes maybe you just need to be content with something like that, you know? I was refreshingly forthright. Minorikawa was surprised. And I mean, so what if I've got debts? Yanagishita went on. In the long run, none of that matters, not really. There was a knock at the door. Excuse me a moment, Yanagishita said. Wonder who that could be. Mobsters. He opened the door and his face froze. Damn. Wasn't quite quick enough. Mr. Minorikawa, yes? You'll have to, pardon me. I have a little something to crop up here, so if you don't mind... Sure, not a problem. I've got other interviews I need to get to anyway, so I'll just... But Yanagishita was at the door before Minorikawa could even finish. Stepping out of the hallway, Minorikawa could faintly hear voices from the adjoining demo room. It sounded like Mr. Yanagishita and two other men. Minorikawa couldn't make out any words, but he could tell they were arguing about something. It's probably some consumer complaint, against one of his products, or an issue with a client company. Something along those lines. Man, people who run companies are sure have it rough. You hang in there, Mr. Yanagishita. Oh, perfect timing. Minorikawa stopped short as a familiar voice called out to him. It was the man he'd spoken to earlier that afternoon about the surveillance cameras. Hey, come here for a sec. The man waved him over. What is it? I'm real busy right now. I've got a scoop for you. Saw it with my own eyes. Minorikawa raised an eyebrow. Give me the details. So, a little while ago, I saw some foreign guy in handcuffs arguing with someone who looked like a detective. A foreigner in handcuffs? Had there been some kind of international sting or something? Whatever the case, it wasn't such a rare thing to see. Where was this? Just over there behind the police station. Minorikawa furrowed his brow. A suspect arguing with the cop outside a police station wasn't all that weird. Still, he had a feeling he was missing something here. Well, the big thing is what happened afterward, the man said. Afterward. The man leaned in conspiratorially. The detective undid the guy's handcuffs and let him run off. What? I'm telling you, man. It had to have been like a bribe or something. A bribe? That seemed unlikely. I swear that's what it had to be. There was some wheel greasing going on. You're not making this all up, are you? Minorikawa asked. He regarded the man coldly, but the guy still seemed quite legitimately worked up. It's all true. Please, you have to report this to the police right away. Why do I have to? Minorikawa asked. You have a tip for the police, go give it yourself. He didn't quite manage to stop himself from saying that out loud. No, I can't. I'm no good when it comes to police. Besides, they're never gonna believe someone like me. Okay, so maybe he had a point there. But you're some world-class reporter, right? The cops will totally take your word over that of a random nobody. Minorikawa didn't have time to debate the point. It was just easier to make a call. He phoned up the police to leave the tip. The man bowed repeatedly, looking pretty grateful. Oh, thank you so much. I haven't been able to get any business done with those scary thugs around. What thugs? What line of business are you in anyway? What? The man suddenly went pale. Whoops, gotta get going. He skittered off in alarm. XD. Minorikawa was left to wonder what this guy's line of work actually was. But he had more important things to worry about at that moment. He hurried off in the other direction. Before long, he arrived back at Cafe L'Autre. The clock on the wall showed that it was close to 2 o'clock. He had to somehow fill 6 more pages before the loan company came to Heaven Publishing to collect. He booted up his laptop. What's with this coffee shop? Said a low, stern voice. You've got no good magazines here. Minorikawa looked up. An older man was complaining to one of the waitresses. It was the same guy who'd been yelling at his daughter earlier. Evidently he'd been here at the cafe this whole time. Haven't you got any magazines for me to read? The man's face was a mask of irritation. Minorikawa glanced at the magazines in the rack. They were mostly geared toward a younger reader. The waitress sifted through the stacks and pulled something from the back. Perhaps this would be your liking, sir? She said. She held out an issue of 4-star general gossip. Don't be ridiculous, the man spat dismissively. This is vulgar, low-grade filth. I wouldn't even use the paper printed on for compost. That was a harsh way to put it, but Minorikawa couldn't fault him for speaking the truth. The man The man continued grumbling as he went back to his seat. Minorikawa headed over to the magazine rack and himself and picked up the gossip. He opened the front cover and found the scratch card still inserted within. If these things were still out there, it was bad news. Toyama might end up even further in debt. Ah! Minorikawa yanked the scratch card out and tore it to bits. Sir, what are you doing? The waitress rushed to stop him, only for the pieces to rain down on her like confetti. The magazine itself is so perfectly readable, Minorikawa said. There's no problem here. He strode back to his seat and gazed at... Oh. It still hadn't finished booting up. In the meantime, he decided to give Chiaki a call. She picked up right away. Hello? Minorikawa asked. Hi there. Good to hear from you, Chiaki replied. How's progress? I did it! Her voice overcome with emotion. I managed to get people to hear me out. Of course you did. You got your pointers from me. Yes, I couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Mino. Her mood had done a complete 180. Minorikawa allowed himself a little sigh of relief. Okay then, he said. Head back to the editing department and put together an article for me. You got it, sir. Chiaki chirped in reply. I'll email you as soon as I'm done with things on my end, Minorikawa told her. Just use the DPT slot to slot your piece into the right spot in the layout. Desktop publishing. Okay. Sure thing. Minorikawa hung up, then rolled up his sleeves. He was towing a pretty narrow line today. The Burning Hammer event had kept him a little longer than anticipated. Now he needed to clean up his copy as soon as possible in order to stick to his schedule. When he turned back toward his laptop, however, he froze with shock. Did it crash? What? His laptop monitor was still a black, empty screen. There was no way it would take this long to finish booting up. It couldn't be. No, don't let it be true. Had his computer decided to pick up now, of all times, to give up the ghost? Minorikawa felt the blood drain from his face. Oh, I was about to say, how did we get that bad end? Honestly, is there something we were supposed to do to keep his computer from dying? But I guess that's correct up until now. Okay, so that is our... okay. We stole the keep out on Tama. I think Kano's still pretty inevitably gonna get a bad end, no matter what. Kano's probably the last character we have to play, honestly. The man with the cane crooked his finger on the trigger. Okay, Hitomi and Achi are being chased. Achi stepped in front of Hitomi, shielding her with his body. If you want to shoot her, you have to shoot me too. He's just like, that can be arranged, dumbass. Suddenly, the assassin's head jerked forward. Oh, someone bonked him. He pitched face first onto the pavement and lay still, revealing a foreign man standing behind him. Yeah, see, the assassin is separate. Like I knew it. The assassin is separate, I think, from the guy, the foreign syndicate guys. There's like multiple bad guy parties going on here. In one hand, the stranger clutched a metal pipe. Hitomi, Achi asked, you know that guy? Hitomi's eyes went wide. That's the man from the Scramble. One who told me to go to the van. Wait, one of the kidnappers? Why would he help us? I'm not sure. The newcomer fixed his eyes on Achi. Wow, that's horrifying. Hey man, Achi approached the stranger. I'm not sure what's going on here, but thanks for the assist. Whoa! The man took a sudden swing with his pipe. Achi barely managed to dodge out of the way. Hitomi's like, let's fight. What the hell? Once again, Achi made sure Hitomi was safely behind him. Guess I gotta let my fists do the talking. Achi quickly adopted a fighting stance. Why is there so much fighting going on in this hour? Be careful, Hitomi warned, her voice trembling. Don't worry, it's just a pipe. I'll snatch it away from him and make him tell us where your sister is. Achi judged the distance between them as carefully as he stared down his opponent. The metal pipe gave the thug a considerable reach. One solid hit from that thing and Achi wouldn't stand a chance. He needed to end. Oops. The crook sized him up for a few moments and lunged forward to attack. Now! Hiya! Achi sidestepped to avoid the incoming blow, then delivered a vicious left hook to his adversary's jaw. The man went down hard. XD, punk ass bitch. Achi gazed at his fallen foe, flexing his knuckles. The thing about guys who bring weapons to fights is they always let themselves get too cocky. Skull. He looked the guy over. The man had a tattoo peeking from one of his ratty sleeves. Come on, buddy. You can't clock out just yet, Achi said. Get up. I've got a few questions for you. He knelt down to grab the man by his collar. Halfway to his feet, the man pulled a gun from his breast pocket. Whoa. Didn't know you were packing heat. Achi took a quick step backwards. The man's eyes brimmed with rage. He looked ready to pull the trigger at any moment, but he didn't get the chance. The man with the cane had regained consciousness back on his feet. He trained his own gun on the foreigner. The foreigner quickly shifted his attention to the other gunman. Oh no, you don't! Achi darted forward and kicked the kidnapper in the hand as hard as he could. The gun went flying from his grasp. With a low snarl, the man took up the metal pipe again. Rather than go for Achi, however, he charged the man with the cane. What the? Achi watched in astonishment as the two men grappled. I think the man with the gun is probably here to protect Hitomi somehow, but we just don't know it. And like, the guy with the cane, sorry, they both have guns, XD. And then the foreigner dude is bad guy. Now's our chance! Grabbing Hitomi by the hand, Achi broke into a run. They're balancing on the seesaw. They ran for a long time, finally stopping to rest in a quiet municipal park. As they sat catching their breath, Achi sensed a new tension in Hitomi. She hadn't said a word since their latest escape. She has to die, Achi. It's for your own good. Okay, wait, no, JK, he's not there to protect Achi. Right. He did, or Hitomi, he did say that she has to die. That is definitely not good. In his mind, Achi replayed what the man with the cane had said. So, Hitomi. Achi hesitated. About what happened back there? Yeah. She sounded like she'd been far gone in her own thoughts, too. You gotta believe me, I have no idea who that guy was. Never seen him before in my life. He must have been saying that stuff to confuse us, to trip us up. Yeah? Hitomi said again. Is that what's been bothering you? Eh? Now it's Achi's turn to go monosyllabic. Syllabic, there we go. I said syllabic. Syllabic. Well, Achi, you're kind of famous around Shibuya, right? Don't know about that. Way back when, he'd been the leader of SOS. Nowadays, he was just some guy who picked up trash. That was nothing to brag about. When someone's famous, it's not unusual for them to recognize them and know their name. So yeah, I was surprised back there, but no matter what that man may have said, I trust you. I mean, look at how many times you put yourself in danger to protect me. Hitomi sounded pretty resolute. Achi was glad that she believed him, but that raised another question. So then how come you've been so quiet? I've just been thinking about things. Like what that man from the Scramble might be after. It was true that his actions didn't make a lot of sense. He seemed more interested in taking out the man with the cane than going after you. Maybe there's bad blood between them. Achi let out a little chuckle. If we're lucky, maybe they'll take each other out for us. He felt a rush of relief, reassured that Hitomi didn't doubt his motives. Regardless, though, we have to track down that blue van. The sound of a child's cry came from behind them. What the heck? She'd fallen on her face? Turning to look, they saw the kidnapper rushing towards them. He had knocked over a little girl who was in his way. No rest for the weary, Achi sighed. Yet again, he and Hitomi sprinted away. Do you think he took out the guy with the cane? Also, that was Toyama and his daughter, Eki. Hitomi's words came between panting huffs. Maybe. Achi glanced back at their pursuer. What? There's another one. There was someone else with him. Now they're being chased by two foreigners. I think it's better we're just running from one guy with the cane. In a one-on-one fight, Achi was confident he could keep Hitomi safe. One-on-two, though, that was a different story. One guy might get a hold of her while he was facing off against the other. He had to make sure they lost these creeps no matter what. Keep out. Well, I bet this is the keep out the jump point in Tama's story. Because in Tama's story, right, it said like, oh, a couple was running from two other people. So I think Tama's... We should be able to get through from Tama's story. Wait, where's Tama? Yeah. Yes. Wait, no. Yes. It's the same time stamp too, so that's correct, I think. Me thinketh. Please let me jump. Please let me jump. Let's fucking go. As luck would have it, they soon found the crowd in their path, backs turned toward them. Excited voices rose up from the throng. Excuse me. Whoa, what's the deal? Is something going on? It's a street fight. Achi clutched Hitomi's hand good and tight. Whatever you do, don't let go. Without a moment's hesitation, he plowed his way through the crowd. Emerging on the far side of the gathering, Achi saw the main road ahead. Cars were zipping past in a steady stream. What do we do? There were too many cars for them to rush across the street without getting hit. But they couldn't exactly just sit and wait for the light to change. And they certainly couldn't go back the way they came. Their pursuers were getting closer and closer. Hitomi! Achi shouted. We're going across. We're going across. We're going across. Oh, excuse me. What? Dragging Hitomi by the hand, Achi darted out onto the street. Moving purely by instinct, he wove his way through the gaps between speeding cars. When they were halfway across, a car slammed on its brake to keep hitting them, causing several cars behind it to crash into one another. The multi-vehicle pileup plunged the roadway into total chaos. Oh! As a result of this chaos, traffic in the nearby area will be at a standstill for a while. While on their way to the Syndicate hideout, Shinya Kano and Jack Stanley have gotten caught in this traffic jam. Okay, so we have fixed Kano's story up until, at least the bad end the first bad end we got. I feel like Kano's usually the character who's like at the highest risk and ends up having the most bad ends, so hehe. In a matter of moments, the street was clogged with a long line of stopped vehicles. Achi and Hitomi's pursuers remained on the other side and did not pursue. Okay, that was crazy. Hitomi panted as she caught her breath. Well, you know what they say. Idle feet are the devil's playthings. Hands. It's idle hands. Whatever, at least they'd gotten away. Come on, let's go. Achi led the way down several twisting side streets before slowing his pace. By now Hitomi was slumped and panting heavily. He wanted to give her some time to rest, but if they just hung around, their pursuers might still find them. He looked around and spotted a multi-tenant building. The nearest door was open. Bundles of flyers were set near the entrance. Flyers for au revoir. Okay. Achi peeked inside and saw piles of plywood and painted lumber. It looked like this was a storeroom for a theater's stage props and scenery. We can hide out in here, he said. But... Tomi hesitated, but Achi gave her hand a little tug. It'll be fine, there's nobody around. They stepped inside the storeroom and Achi quickly shut the door behind them. We should probably rest here for a bit, he said. There was a wooden platform set up beside a large piece of plywood. Achi picked up the magazine that had fallen on the floor and spread it atop the platform's dusty surface. Now you can sit without getting your clothes dirty. Thank you. Hitomi quickly took a seat. We should probably turn off our cell phones, Achi said. It could be really bad if it rang at the wrong moment. The two powered off their cell phones. Achi took a cursory look around. It didn't look like there was a way out besides the door they'd come in through. There was a single window set in the wall, but it wouldn't open far enough to let them through. Ah! Hitomi let out a quiet gasp. Someone was outside the storeroom. Achi put a finger to his lips and Hitomi gave a fearful nod. The window's frosted glass blocked any real view in or out. As long as they stayed quiet, they ought to be safe. Whoever was outside pressed their face to the frosted glass, trying to get a glimpse inside. The blurry visage of the foreigner who'd attacked them was dimly visible. That's creepy. Like the man with the cane before him, this guy was quick to catch up. The man pounded on the glass. Achi swallowed the lump in his throat. If this guy got in, they had nowhere to run. Achi turned to Hitomi. We'll be fine. Oh, no. We'll be fine, just sit tight. Just sit tight. We'll be fine, just sit tight. Hitomi clutched onto Achi's arm, hard. Can I help you with something? Said a casual voice from outside. They saw their pursuer reacted once, pulling aside from the window. That's just our storeroom, you know, the voice added. Achi heard footsteps scampering away. The kidnapper had run off. Achi exchanged glances with Hitomi and let out a tiny sigh. There are more voices coming from outside now. What's up with that guy? Don't know. Whatever, let's just hurry and get stuff tidied up. Man, my throat's raw. It sounded like a conversation between two men. The storeroom door opened, and the men clomped their way inside. Tomonari Takaya and Taro Toga, two members of the theater troupe, and the Wandering Angels. Okay. So what are we getting? Let's grab all those folding chairs over there. The producer said we're gonna need a lot more seats all of a sudden. Mr. Oonai said that? Going all out for the troops' last hurrah, huh? Beats me, man. In no real hurry, the men went about carting the folding chairs away. They didn't notice Achi and Hitomi sitting silently in the shadows. XD. Not to change the subject, but how come we're using a dry ice machine and not a smoke machine? Maybe that's why my throat's bothering me. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Nobody's even operating and it's still drawing a ton of power. Think it's defective? Achi and Hitomi waited for the two men to finish up. If they were spotted, it would probably cause a scene, and worse still, it might alert the men who were hunting them. Once they'd carried off the rest of the folding chairs, the men closed the storeroom door. The foreigner could still be somewhere nearby, though, so Achi decided they should hide out in the room a little longer. God, this blows. I want to get back out there and look for that blue van ASAP. But Achi trailed off as something occurred to him. Wait a second. Now that's weird. Hitomi looked at him wait, I missed it. Inquisitively? I think that's what it said. The kidnappers already have the ransom money, yeah? Achi said. That's right. And then they told you that your sister was in some blue minivan. Isn't that kind of weird? What do you mean? Did you figure out that your sister was in the minivan by herself? Well, yes. If one of the kidnappers were with her, they wouldn't need to send me to go get her. Right, Achi said. And yet the fact was that as soon as the kidnappers had their money, they could have just let Hitomi's sister out of the vehicle and run off. There was no point in sending Hitomi to fetch her personally. A look of revelation dawned on Hitomi's face. Oh. That minivan had already left Dogenzaka, she said. And it came back while we were there waiting for it, Achi finished. He thought back to his earlier run-in with the blue vehicle. Tama is definitely Maria. Tama is 100% Maria. 100,000% is Maria. It's fucking Maria, okay? Watch the VOD back. I said it, okay, earlier too, that I'm just like, what if Hitomi, what if it was Hitomi? Oh wait, no, Hitomi's the girl, like her sister, her Maria. I'm 100% certain of this. So then inside that minivan, there had been a bunch of foreigners inside, which meant the kidnappers had been trying to ambush Hitomi. They told her that her sister was in that minivan to lure her into it, and the kidnappers had been lying in wait inside. Do you think they were trying to kidnap me too? That's it. Achi clapped his hands together. Then they'd let your sister go and demand a ransom for you, and then they'd make her deliver the ransom money for your release. They'd be able to get, like, infinite ransom money by constantly abducting one twin after the other. It's kind of big brain, actually. That seems a little far-fetched. I guess you're right. Now that she'd said so, Achi realized it was kind of a ridiculous idea. Still, what if the kidnappers really were trying to kidnap me, Hitomi said? As in, like, they accidentally abducted the wrong twin. I mean, I guess that would have been easy to botch up. That would imply they wanted me, specifically, and not my sister. Hitomi paused briefly and thought. Maybe you're hotter than your sister or something? Achi suggested with enthusiasm. What a Chad. Hitomi shook her head. That can't be it. If anything, it's the other way around. Compared to my sister, I'm just... Oh, hey, stop right there. Achi had to interrupt her. You're not just anything. Please don't. I've just... Tears had welled up in Hitomi's eyes. Why'd this have to happen to her? Why not me? Oh, hey, come on. Come on, don't cry. I'm sorry. Cheer up. It's like that song says. Don't just stand there, wipe those tears away. That one. You know what? Is that... Aya Kamiki? Yeah, that's the one. Put your hands in mine. Every single bee's a light. Huh. You know, every single bee's a light. Hitomi let out a giggle. Everything will be alright. Hmm? You've got the lyrics wrong. It's everything will be alright. Right, yeah. I guess that makes more sense, I guess. Achi's mouth curled into a sheepish smile. Alright, I think we've laid low long enough, Achi said at last. Think we should be on our way? He was about to get to his feet when he heard voices outside the storeroom again. Yikes, that was pretty careless of us. We definitely gotta watch it. The theater guys from earlier had returned, and they sounded a bit panicked. Tomonari Takaya and Taro Toga, oh, okay, this is the same thing as earlier. Heard folks been messing with the storeroom a bunch recently. Uh-huh. And did you hear who's behind it? Some juvenile delinquents. Like a gang? Wow, that takes me way back. Alright, let's hurry on back. Aww, Achi's a nice guy. A little bit of a Chad, but a nice guy. No, he's not a Chad. He's just, like, naive. Achi rushed over to the door. He tried turning the knob, but the door wouldn't budge. Oh, come on, are you freaking kidding me? He paced frantically around the room, pulling at his hair. We're locked in. And that door is the only way in or out. Achi and Hitomi were well and truly trapped inside the storeroom. This is all my fault, Achi said. It was my idea to hide out here in the first place. He bowed to Hitomi repeatedly. We're never gonna be able to find that blue minivan now. Guess we'll have to get someone on the outside to help us, Hitomi replied. She scowled thoughtfully. They powered their phones back on in order to call for help. The big question was, who could they possibly ask? Hitomi, anyone you can reach out to? Mr. Tanaka, I suppose. Tanaka, right. The suggestion didn't exactly thrill Achi. He had no idea what this Tanaka guy was like. Hopefully he was the dependable sort who'd actually show up to rescue them. But somehow that thought made Achi feel even worse. Achi had someone he figured he could call, but he hesitated, uncertain. There had been a time when he trusted this guy more than anyone. They bailed each other out of countless jams. Nowadays, though, things were different. Hitomi gave Achi a puzzled look as he sat, lost in thought. Right, guess I don't have much of a choice. Achi scrolled through the contacts on his list on his cell phone. He found a name he thought he'd never call again. Susumu. Yo, Achi, is that you? Susumu's voice was low and guarded. Look, I've got a favor to ask of you. I'm in a real bind here. Like, things are ridiculously bad. I thought maybe you could help me out a little bit? You seriously thought I'd help you? Susumu's words were like ice. You messing with me or something, man? Now he sounded a touch angry as well. Painful memories flashed before Achi's eyes. Right then, sorry to bug you, just forget it. But Susumu hung up before Achi was even finished talking. I see. No dice, Achi said to Hitomi with a lopsided frown. She looked back at him, her expression a mirror of his own. What should we do? What should we do? I guess we're back to Mr. Tanaka. Guess so. You wanna go ahead then? Tanaka-san! Hitomi tried calling him repeatedly, but Tanaka didn't pick up. What could have happened? What could have happened, she muttered under her breath. Do you think that maybe kidnappers found out that Mr. Tanaka and I have been in contact? Achi shrugged. It looked like they were just going to need to find some way out of here on their own, and then maybe look for the minivan themselves. Achi strode over to the door and grabbed hold of the knob. He tried giving it a good sturdy pull. Ugh, no good, the thing won't even budge. The door opens outward. Wait, really? Achi tried giving it a push. It still didn't open. He kicked it. Oh ho, the door wasn't nearly as sturdy as Achi had expected. I think I can make this work. He backed up to get a running start. Then he kicked the door with all his might. Yeah! Oh, bad. The door went flying off its hinges. What a beast. Oh man, that was way too easy. Achi stepped cautiously out of the storeroom. He quickly scanned the surrounding area. There was nobody in sight. Looks like we're in the clear, he called. But Hitomi didn't come out, nor did she reply. She had her phone in hand, apparently still trying to get in touch with Tanaka. With a tiny sigh, Achi leaned against the wall and waited for her to finish. Well, doesn't look like I'm gonna have any luck, she said. You know we can leave now, right? Still holding out hope from your Mr. Tanaka? It's not that, I'm just a little worried. Yeah? Okie dokie then. I'll just, wait around here. Okay, I'll be right with you. Uh-huh. Achi shuffled his way back outside. Oh, crap. By the time Achi could finish processing the thought, he was already laid out on the ground. His jaw hit the asphalt hard. He bit the tip of his tongue clean off. Ew, the taste of blood filled his mouth. A moment later, he took a sharp blow to the head. He was done for. All the energy drained from his body. His mind whirled. His vision grew hazy. He began to drift from consciousness. Back when he'd run with Susumu and the others, he'd never left himself exposed to a surprise attack. There were plenty of times when he'd taken a punch that sent him reeling, only to spin back and come back swinging. This time he hadn't even seen it coming. It was his last mistake. Heh, guess I've let myself go soft. Achi grimaced inwardly, muttering in a voice no one but he could hear. Hitomi. I'm so sorry. I don't think this is a bad end, though, is it? Oh, it is a bad end. What? Attacked by the man with the cane. Achi successfully managed to break out of the storeroom, only to be knocked out by the man with the cane while he waited for Hitomi. Things might have gone differently if Hitomi had managed to get in contact with Mr. Tanaka. Why hadn't he responded to her calls? Maybe something strange had opened at the Osawa residence. Or perhaps there's some reason he wasn't able to answer the phone. Game over. I know, right? Okay. It doesn't... I wasn't sure if that was actually a bad end or not, or just like a to be continued, you know? Okay, let's jump to Kano's story then. So I know fixing Achi's story is dependent on Osawa's story, I think. What is this jump? I think we already handled this. So I know fixing Osawa's or Achi's story is fixed on determinant on Osawa's story, but we're gonna go to the Achi jump point and we're gonna go to the jump point in Achi's story that leads us to Kano. But oh my god, I am 100,000 million gajillion percent why I say it like that, percent certain that Tama is Maria. I'm 100, like, oh my god, I'm actually gonna eat so much shit if that's not what happens to be true, but I'm like pretty sure she's Tama. Like, they ditched her after they chucked her out of the van and she woke up in a storehouse with no memory. How convenient. The car moved at a glacial pace towards the crime syndicate's hangout. Stanley pounded his fist on the steering wheel in frustration. They had no sooner set out than the traffic slowed to a near standstill. Despite the occasional lurch, it never crept above a crawl. Kano stewed in the passenger seat. The case was rapidly getting out of hand. Now he had to worry about the safety of both Maria and her sister Hitomi. Never mind the fact that Tateno had also gone missing. There were too many unknowns, too many uncertainties. His unease was growing unbearable. Also, Tateno... Excuse me. Also, Tateno hasn't radioed in, and, like, we can't reach him from our end either. Kuze's word kept echoing inside Kano's head. What could have caused Tateno to drop out of contact? Someone had gone after Hitomi while Kano and the others were busy trailing the attaché case. Could Tateno have been... No, it couldn't be. Kano was sure Tateno would have done whatever was necessary to keep Hitomi safe. Stanley broke the long silence. What's on your mind? I bet the foreigner in handcuffs was let go, right? I think. Like, it might have been Tateno that let them go, possibly? Kano didn't answer. Look, if you're worrying about that other detective, the guy couldn't even protect one girl, Stanley continued. Not exactly a ringing endorsement. Don't you talk about Detective Tateno that way. I'm concerned about Hitomi Osawa, but the missing attaché case needs to come first. Stanley's expression remained stone cold. Kano flashed him a sidelong glare, then went back to staring out the window. A moment later, a flurry of motion in a nearby alleyway caught his eye. At the start, he realized it was Sasayama. A fellow detective was caught up in an altercation with a man in dark clothes. Kano sprang into action, his body moving almost before his mind registered the situation. Sasayama! Flinging the door open, he leapt out of the car. Hey, wait! Stanley called after him. But Kano was already sprinting towards the fight. The other man knocked Sasayama onto a pile of garbage. As Sasayama struggled to get back to his feet, his opponent looked down on him with a triumphant sneer. Kano finally got a good look at the man and his eyes flashed with recognition. He was the perp who'd first taken the attaché case back at the scramble. You! Kano growled. He sped like a bullet to tackle Karawan around the legs. But Karawan stepped nimbly stepped aside. Kano's arm closed on nothing but air. XD. At the same moment, Karawan deftly wrapped an arm around Kano's neck. Kano felt a vise-like pressure on his carotid artery. Is that how you pronounce it? His consciousness quickly began to slip away. Oh, you bastard, he snarled. Lowering his center of gravity, he got hold of one of Karawan's legs and used his shoulder as a fulcrum against him. Despite the arm crushing his neck, Kano managed to lift his opponent high into the air. Oh my god, did he just suplex him? Despite the arm still crushing his neck, Kano managed to lift his opponent high into the air. He continued the movement to heave Karawan up and over himself, slamming him upside down into the heap of trash. Stanley strolled up to the aftermath of the struggle. Well, you've got the brawn part down, he said. Needs some work on the brains. Karawan was sprawled out atop the mound of refuse. He had knocked out cold. Sasayama coughed and sputtered. Kano went to help him to his feet, but Stanley stepped in between them. What are you doing? Stanley asked. Helping Sasayama. What does it look like? We need to apprehend Karawan first. He's not even conscious. Sasayama can come first. He pushed Stanley aside and crouched down alongside his partner. You alright? He asked. Yeah, Sasayama groaned. You bailing me out, though? Can't let the missus know about that. Mum's the word, Kano said. He slipped an arm underneath Sasayama and helped him to his feet. I managed to find the guy who had the attaché case, Sasayama said. But when I tried to arrest him, this fellow came out of nowhere and attacked me. He flashed Al-Karawan a nasty look. So here we go again, disobeying direct orders, Stanley huffed. This is... Oh, what's the deal with Japanese police anyways? He shook his head in exasperation. Sasayama gave Kano a puzzled look, jerking his thumb at the American. Who's this guy? It's a long story, Kano said. He filled Sasayama in on the situation. Enough chit-chat. Hurry up and cuff this guy, Stanley said. Kano knelt down by Al-Karawan's unconscious body, flipped him over, and proceeded to cuff his hands behind his back. Kano paused. Al-Karawan's sleeve had slid back from his wrist. What's this? The unconscious man had a tattoo of a two-headed scorpion on his left forearm. Stanley strode over. You find something? He asked. Yes, I think this guy might be the ringleader. Seeing the image had reminded Kano of something he'd heard back at the headquarters, that the head of the foreign syndicate had a scorpion tattoo. He relayed this information to Stanley. Ahee! Stanley called up Kuze on his cell. You'll be happy to know that the guy with the attaché case is still at large, he said. Apprehending the ringleader at this point shouldn't be an issue. One of your so very capable subordinates gave us a big step forward in this case here. Wait a second, Sasayama muttered. That was sarcasm, wasn't it? Stanley hung up and called over to him. Think you can escort this guy back to the precinct? Yeah, sure, seeing how very capable I am. XD. Kano felt his phone vibrate. The display showed an incoming call from Numi. Hello? He answered warily, keeping his voice down. Stanley had him a little on edge. It's me. It was Shizuo. Damn it, Kano thought he did not have time for this right now. But if he just hung up, he might be even deeper in hot water. Kano decided he'd have to take that risk. He hung up his phone. Decided he better listen to what the man had to say. We'll listen. Hello, sir. I'm afraid I'm not really at liberty to take a personal call right now, even if it's from my father-in-law. He did his best to sound apologetic. I'm not your father-in-law. Yes, of course. Sorry, sir. He bowed his head reflexively, feeling like an idiot. You really don't give a damn about keeping me waiting like this, do you? Sir, I swear to you I feel terrible. Please, Flustered, he took a deep breath and recomposed himself. I promise you, sir. I promise I'll be there. If you can just wait a little... Don't make promises you can't keep! Shizuo's barking rebuke made Kano break out in a sweat. You think I'm just gonna let you off the hook because you're working on a case? This is exactly why I don't want my daughter with some detective. Great, another angry tirade. But didn't you used to be a detective, sir? Kano muttered. You watch yourself, you little brat. It's not enough that you keep calling me your father-in-law, you have to bring that up. Evidently, Kano had touched a raw nerve. It seemed like anything he said only made matters worse. Well, you're not off the hook, Shizuo continued. I'm never letting my daughter marry the likes of you. His fury hitting its crescendo, Shizuo promptly hung up. Why on earth did Shizuo hold such intense malice toward police detectives when he'd been one himself? Kano had become a detective for Numi's sake in the first place, and now it was the biggest thing holding him back. Come on, let's go. Stanley's voice snapped Kano out of his daze. Ugh. Grimly, he followed the American back to the car. Yet again, Stanley was thumping the steering wheel in frustration. Traffic hadn't let up one bit. It was starting to look like they might never make it to the foreign syndicate's hangout. Kano caught sight of a girl in a hoodie weaving her way between the stopped cars on foot. He rolled down the window and called out to her. Miku Morita. Oh, okay. Excuse me, miss. Did something happen? What do you mean? With the road, I mean. What's with all the traffic? Right. Apparently there was some big accident over by the train station. That's probably what's causing it. Really?
Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to be going anywhere for quite a while. She smiled and went on her way. Stanley gave the steering wheel another punch. Well, I guess I did say this was a typical... I guess I did say this wasn't a typical ransom case, he muttered. Stroke. Kano saw an opportunity. If they're not after the money, then what are they after? Stanley kept his eyes forward, acting as if he hadn't heard. Look, Kano said, I can't help you if you keep me out of the loop. After a few minutes of thought, Stanley replied with a single monosyllable. Drugs. What? Maria's father, Kenji Osawa, I assume you're aware he works for Okoshi Pharmaceutical. I am. Nothing's been made public yet, but Osawa recently oversaw the development of a new drug. And someone's trying to get their hands on it. Kano's mind latched onto this new information, trying to assemble the pieces of an evolving puzzle. Someone? Who? An international criminal mastermind. This foreign syndicate is merely a tool in someone else's game. Kano regarded Stanley's face carefully. He looked more cold and serious than ever. So, wait, does that mean the reason we're letting the syndicate walk around unfettered is on my orders? Yes. I see. So the only thing you're really concerned with is catching this international mastermind. Precisely. Kano felt like he was starting to get a picture of what sort of person Stanley was. So you don't really care about what happened to the girl who's been abducted, do you? Not particularly, no. What a dickhead. Why do you have a problem? Why, do you have a problem with that? Kano clenched his fist. His hand was shaking with anger. Dictum number 8. When you really want to punch something, you really probably shouldn't. Kano recited the words inwardly like some sort of desperate mantra. Punch him, do it. You know you want to. If he didn't manage to calm himself down, he was liable to slam his fist right into Stanley's face. Outside the car, the traffic remained at a standstill. Kano chafed against a feeling of utter futility. One after another, his uncertainties came to nag at him. Was Maria still safe? What had happened to Hitomi and Tateno, her bodyguard? And now, on top of all this, it struck Kano as rather careless to send Sasayama away with Aokara-wan without any backup, now that Jack had alerted him to the presence of a dangerous international mastermind still on the loose. Fighting back his fit of pique, Kano got out his cell phone. He dialed up Sasayama. He wanted to make sure his partner had gotten Aokara-wan back to the precinct safely. He dialed up Detective Kajiwara, who was stationed at the Osawa residence. He hoped a little more information about the families. 2 daughters might shed some light on the situation. Let's check in on Sasayama. He dialed up Sasayama. He wanted to make sure that his partner had gotten Aokara-wan back to the precinct safely. Sasayama picked up almost right away. Kano, what's up? How are things on your end? Any problems getting Aokara-wan back? I've got Tateno taking care of him. Wait, what? Kano could hardly believe his ears. You were in touch with Tateno? He asked. He could hear the shock in his own voice. Yeah. Just bumped into over by the precinct a little while ago. Tateno's a bad guy, dude. He's the one letting them go. Then he is safe. Kano felt a surge of relief. What about Hitomi then? Stanley glanced over at him, curious. Tateno said he lost track of her somehow, and he got called back to the precinct, apparently. Tateno had lost track of her? That's not like him, Kano thought. Since he was heading back there anyway, I handed our guy over to him, Sasayama said. I see. It was Sasayama that it was Tateno that let Aokara-wan go. And that's who the other fucking knick-knack seller guy saw. I see. Kano was glad to hear that Tateno was alright, but his relief was tempered by a surge of anger at the thought of what had happened to Hitomi. Now I'm back to tailing the attaché case, Sasayama continued. Today's my wife's birthday, you know. My plan is to wrap this thing up ASAP so we can celebrate tonight. I've already got a present and everything. I envy you, man. Closing his eyes, Kano took a moment to picture Dumi, but Shizuo's face popped up into his mind's eye right alongside her. Well, just hang in there, buddy. Even if your girlfriend is just a picture of Masami Nagahama. Ha! Still snickering, Sasayama hung up. Kano bit his lip and slipped his phone back into his pocket. Oops, sorry, I'm just getting a message on the side I'm gonna respond to. Okay, sorry. Had a message to respond to. At long last, the traffic began to move again. As soon as it did, however, Stanley had to slam on the brakes. The abrupt stop made Kano smack his head against the windshield. Hey, what gives? Look, Stanley said. He gestured with his chin. Kano couldn't believe his eyes. There, walking alongside the sidewalk, was Alcala 1, very much not in custody. What the hell? Kano shouted, already hopping out of the car. Stanley was right behind him. They crept up on their target as silently as possible, then rushed him once they were close. In a moment they had subdued him. Kano used his own body weight to hold Alcala 1 down. What are you doing out here? He demanded. Whoa, hey, guess you didn't get the memo, huh? Alcala 1 flashed a coy grin. They let me go. Let you go? I think your buddy here might have hearing problems, Alcala 1 said to Stanley. I'm a free man. Kano turned and glared at Stanley. What was he talking about? No idea. First things first, let's get this guy back to the precinct. I'll head to the syndicate hangout by myself. You don't think this is weird? Kano asked. I mean, what the heck is this guy doing on the loose again? What matters is that he is free. Maybe he's telling the truth about being let go. That is ridiculous. Then I guess he must have escaped on his own, Stanley replied. In either case, your buddy screwed up royally. Now it's on you to unscrew things. None of this was sat right with Kano. The fact remained that he couldn't just let Alcala 1 go. He gave Stanley detailed directions to the hangout, and the car sped away towards Yoyogi. Then Kano headed back to the precinct with his captive, trying to reassure himself that he might learn something from questioning Alcala 1 that would help resolve the case. Kano sat opposite Alcala 1 in the interrogation room. Also, I want to know what timestamp we're at. Oh shit, we're actually at the end of Kano's chapter. He'd been attempting to interview the suspect for about a quarter of an hour. Alcala 1 sat ramrod stiff, not responding to any prompts or questions. What time is it right now, he asked. They'd taken away his watch, his wallet, a small knife, and his keychain. This was the third time he'd asked to know the time. Hey, I was just checking the time. Why are you so concerned with what time it is? Kano asked. Alcala 1 gave no reply. Are you waiting on something? Again, the suspect was staunchly silent. Kano wasn't sure what to make of this, but he took a look at his watch. It's around 2 o'clock, he said. What time exactly? It's 2:18. 2:18 and how many seconds? It's not 2:18! Lies! It's 1:55. Look, just cut the crap. Kano grabbed the prisoner by the collar. What the hell are you people after? Alcala 1 merely repeated his question. What time is it right now? With a growl of aggravation, Kano shoved his wristwatch in Alcala 1's face. It's 2:20, Alcala 1 said. Okay then, that should do it. That's ominous. What does that mean? The interrogation went on for several more hours. Despite Kano's efforts, however, Alcala 1 said nothing more. During all that time, the case continued to develop in unexpected ways, but Kano, stuck in the interrogation room, knew nothing about it until everything was already over and done. Wait, so is Kano just like, oh, that's a bad end. Okay, so I guess, Okay, so it wasn't an issue of the phone call. 140. 1340. I mean, it probably has to do with Osawa. Me thinketh? I'm 100% game always being tricky. I'm 100% certain it's in Osawa's section. However, I don't particularly want to start the Osawa chapter because it might take us a while. But I want to know. But I mean, it wasn't a bad place to end. You know what? No. It's already. I'm actually straight up. Well, I have half a cup of water left. Throat is doing a little not so hot, so I think, you know, it's been 2 hours. It's time to call it quits there. It wasn't even a bad place to end, honestly, because, like, it's not as if it's a cliffhanger per se. We have to fix it that end, but I'm pretty sure it's something in Osawa's story. Cliffhanger stream. I mean, every stream on this game is a cliffhanger. I guess. Okay, before we wrap up. Okay, major predictions, I guess. One is... Okay, there's something I think... So, right, it's better to let Hitomi die. I think maybe Hitomi's blood, right? I mean, I don't really know what this injection thing is, but maybe they're... Pegni is really mean. No, don't... Leave Pegni alone. She's just, you know, gonna shave her head bald and go through a very traumatic time. What? I'm sorry, that felt kind of a backhanded slap at Britney Spears. I did not mean it like that. But I guess, okay, major predictions, real quick. Okay, one, I think Hitomi, her blood is probably related to Osawa, her dad's research, which is why the guy chasing him. The guy chasing her in Atsi, the man with the cane, is saying it's better to let Hitomi die because her blood is probably the key to that big drug that, like, kills people, makes them bleed. That's big prediction number one. And that's probably why the crime syndicate's trying to get her, because they want her blood. They probably have their paws on her father's research, but they want her blood or something. Something about her is related to the drug that her father developed. That's one. Two is, like, I'm a gajillion thousand, that's not a number. I'm a million% certain that Tama is Maria. Because, right? Obviously we came to the conclusion that she wasn't in the van. They ditched her somewhere. And oh, how convenient. Tama wakes up in a storehouse with no memories starting that morning. Right? That's big prediction number two. Oh, I want to play one more. You know what? Fuck it. We play a little more of Osawa, though. Hee. Although we did play some of Osawa, and we hit some sort of block point. Okay, we may have both done the same thing, but my motives, those were different, and so I don't regret what I did. Oh yeah, see, he's literally drawing blood from someone. And yet, if someone were to ask if there were some small part of me that wanted to see the results of my research... Bonjour! Hello, bonjour, potato! How's it going today? How you doing? You're here just in time for a slightly extended stream. I was gonna end, because we actually found a nice wrap-up point, but I'm very curious now. Pegni the best. No, it's Pengi now. Pengi's at the control center. I could not deny it. Follow age. Oh, Streamlabs is not gonna work right now. Streamlabs is offline, I think. I offlined it by mistake, or just, I don't know. But approximately 2 years at this point, if you think about it. Actually, probably a little over. Osawa grabbed his shoes from the entryway and then headed for the back door. He didn't want the detectives in his living room to know he was going to meet with Makino. The pest Kajiwara was nowhere in sight. Now was his chance to slip away. Gotcha. Speak of the devil, Kajiwara had snuck up behind him. A mystery game. Hey, Wallaby Trick, how you doing today? Welcome, welcome. You know, I'm glad I slightly extended stream. I'll probably go for another 15 minutes. Everyone's popping in now. How you doing? Welcome to 428 Shibuya Scramble. It has real pictures. Yeah, dude. So we're playing... This is 428 Shibuya Scramble. It's like a mystery... It's a mystery text adventure. Little visual novel. We are in the midst... So right now, basically the whole story started with a girl getting kidnapped. And, like... the game follows the stories of 5 different characters who all have, like... who aren't all necessarily related to the kidnap per se, but they're all related to characters who are related to the kidnap, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, right now we're playing Osawa's story, which is, he's the father of the girl that got kidnapped, but the other characters are Kano, who's a detective following the girl's kidnapping case. Another one is Achi Endo, who befriends the sister of the girl who got kidnapped. One of them is Tama, who is just some random sales associate. Not sales associate, but like, you know, she's doing a part-time job trying to make some money. And I have a theory that she's the girl that got kidnapped. And who else are we following? Oh, Minoru Minorikawa, who's a reporter who is kind of cognizant of the case, but he's not specifically reporting on the kidnapping. Somewhere around 2 years, my birthday is soon. Yeah, your birthday's like end of the month, no? Or no? Was your birthday the 13th? Did it already pass? I don't think it passed, no? That guy's smile reminds me, it's definitely got some Jim Carrey vibes. That face, yeah, it's kind of... This game has really good, I think, cinematography. Because, like, there's not much animation, so they have really good expressive facial expressions and motions, which is nice. My birthday? Oh, no, sorry, Potatoes, because Potatoes said my birthday is soon. Although, well, let me track, your birthday's coming up really soon, too, now that I think about it, right? Just in 2 to 3 weeks. I don't want to mention the specific date in case you don't want people knowing your birthday, but I do know the date. I have 3 instruments in my room right now, and I might get a bass on my birthday. I think it's safe to assume that I'm going into music. Ooh, that's exciting. My birthday is the 25th. Ah, okay, 6 days from now. Mine is super close. Yeah. Again, I know your birthday, but I don't want to. Let me know if I can say it on stream. But if you don't want me to. Gracias. I appreciate the discretion. Don't worry, you're gonna be getting a happy birthday text from me at least on the day of, so I can prove that I'm not just like gas. Speak of the devil, Kajiwara had snuck up behind him. Are you going out? The detective asked. No. I was just what the heck? Osawa felt something inside his shoe. Glancing down, he saw rubber ducks stuffed inside it. Is this your doing? It's a booby trap, or rather, a ducky trap. Kajiwara beamed with self-satisfaction. Kajiwara's so weird, I love it. You know, you act like a grade schooler, Osawa said. Indeed, sir. I am a grown man with a youthful heart. Leave it to Kajiwara to yet again miss the point entirely. With a sigh, Osawa tossed the duck at him. Kajiwara caught it nimbly in one hand, then stuffed it into his pocket. I won't tell you that you aren't allowed to leave, sir. All I ask is that you tell me where you've been and where you plan on going. My work is highly confidential. I'm not at liberty to discuss just anything about. Please try and work with me on this, sir, Kajiwara interrupted. He leaned in uncomfortably close. Do you recall what I said before? About how I'd appreciate if you didn't keep secrets from me? Osawa hesitated, inwardly debating how much he should share. Also, for context, Kajiwara is a detective that's posted at Osawa's home right now because it was Osawa's daughter that got kidnapped. Excuse me. A birthday text? Bro, with a present, Wallaby deserves more than a text. Well, one, I don't have all of these address. I think I did a long time ago, but I lost it. And two, listen, it's the thought that counts. X. Happy early birthdays to you both. I don't see you if I don't see you in the stream before then. Are we gonna have a stream on Potato's birthday? I think we will. 25th, no? That's next Monday. Oh, there is no stream. Okay, we'll wish you a happy birthday on Sunday then. He decided to tell the truth. Alright, I'll tell you. Just leave me in peace. You need to keep this a secret. It doesn't concern you. I'm just going to buy some cigarettes, he lied. We'll tell him the truth. We'll be honest. He decided to tell the truth. My birthday text is fine with me. I'm glad Wallaby tried. I mean, next time I see you, you know, drinks on me. But, oh, I'm sorry. Now I feel bad. I do pop in rarely. Both of you are elusive. Ever so elusive. You guys play hard to get. Eesh. He decided to tell the truth. Alright, I'll tell you. Just leave me in peace. One of my colleagues is waiting outside. Who is it? I'm sorry, that's all I can say. Could you tell me a bit about what you'll be discussing? Kajiwara leaned in even closer. His eyes twinkled with suspicion. I can't share corporate secrets, detective. Like how you don't tell me anything about the state of your investigation. It goes both ways. It might have been childish reasoning, but it worked on Kajiwara. Alright, the detective said. In that case, I have just one condition. Please take this with you. He produced something that looked like a small transceiver from inside his coat. What is this? It's a bug tracker, sir. I'll beep in response to nearby listening devices. It'll beep in response to nearby listening devices. I'm just going to meet someone from work. I don't need this. He pushed Kajiwara's hand aside and the bug tracker fell to the floor. Mr. Osawa, you mustn't underestimate the lengths to which kidnappers might go. For once, the detective's face was all seriousness. Alright, fine. Osawa snatched up the device and headed out the door. Jim Carrey, back up. Japanese Jim Carrey. Makino's car was parked out the front. What time stamp are we at, by the way? Damn, we're actually still literally at the very beginning of the Osawa chapter for this hour. Damn, okay. We're not gonna finish this chapter, but we're gonna push it forward a little bit. Makino's car was parked out front. A driver stood alongside with it. Osawa exchanged a wordless greeting with him, then got into the back. He found Makino reclining in one of the luxurious leather seats. I'm definitely not as active here as I was before. Same. XD. Me getting really sloppy with my streaming schedule in the last year. XD. Now then, Makino said, what did you want to ask me about? Lighting a cigar, he glanced sidelong at Osawa. I was hoping you could explain the situation to me, sir. What situation would that be? So she's going to beat around the bush, even now. Osawa suppressed the urge to shout at him. Are you the one who let the antiviral out of the lab, sir? Yes, that was me. Makino didn't bat an eyelid. So why had he been so coy a few moments earlier? But how? The fingerprint authentication system is almost unbreakable. Getting access to the storage area would... He trailed off as a thought suddenly occurred to him. It was not strictly true that fingerprint authentication was the only means of entry. Osawa and Tanaka have both set up passwords as failsafe in case an injured fingertip somehow prevented them from operating the scanner properly. But these passwords were 10-character alphanumeric strings. No one could just haphazardly fumble their way in. Could Makino have sent a request to the electronic locks manufacturer and asked them to unlock it then? I'm busy with work and stuff, but I want to try and reconnect again. Hey, no worries, man. Life is busy. Life is hard. If you're busy with work, focus on that. You know, we're homies. I am always here, whether it be don't hear from you for a week or a year. We're always buds. Come on, Wallaby Track. I'm just not on Twitch at night anymore. Usually the middle of the day. I think that makes sense. Honestly, I've noticed that, like, not noticed, but I kind of would like to maybe stream more during the daytime, honestly. Nighttime streams have been getting tiring. Literally tiring, as well as, you know, I don't want to make too much noise when it's like past 10, especially on a weekday, and bother the neighbors. And usually just by the end of the day these days I'm pretty tired. Hey! Hey! The ghost in Phasmo XD. Hey Kevin, how's it going? How you doing? No, that required the approval of 6 board members, and Osawa was one of those 6 people. There really seemed to be no way of getting in and out without leaving a trace. You're absolutely right, of course, Makino said with a grin, as if reading his thought. I couldn't gain access to the lab without you and Tanaka, but I didn't have to. He exhaled a large plume of smoke. You remember when we released the samples for animal testing? No, it couldn't be. Osawa broke out in a sweat. Ah, but it could, Makino said. I had them divert some of the samples from mine intended for animal testing. Naturally, that didn't leave any record of anything being taken from the lab. Osawa bit his lip hard. He couldn't help but feel betrayed by his company. But why? Makino let out a nasal, one-note chuckle. You just don't seem to grasp how valuable that thing really is. What do you mean by that, sir? Makino lowered his voice. There's a major world power out there that already has weaponized the UA virus. I'm tired, but I'd just like to stop in and say hi. I'm glad. I'm tired too, but I love seeing you stop in to say hi. Wait a minute, that's... No. You know what? No, but I love seeing you anyway, Kevin. I started learning French. My bestie wants to learn, so I've been teaching it to her and chatting with her. Yeah? Why French? Just out of curiosity. What if people in these pictures are the devs? That'd be pretty funny, actually, if some of these are, like, dev team people. Because, I mean, like, none of these people have to particularly be actors, because it's just a bunch of screenshots, basically. There's no, like, kind of voice acting and, like, body put into it. Just, like, well, I mean, they put their body into it and they still take a screen cap, but it's not, like, a rolling film, you know? For a moment, Osawa thought that this was just a sick joke, but the look on Makino's face told him otherwise. I've been informed that it was recently used on a military installation in the Middle East. Within 12 hours of dispersal, there were at least 800 casualties. If you include civilians, that number jumps to over 2,000. Any evidence of the disease agent in the bomb that delivered it has, of course, been covered up. Osawa listened in amazement. His outrage that any government would commit such atrocity was not quite suppressing his excitement at discovering the virus could be propagated by explosive means. He felt the flush of guilt at his own fascination. The antiviral you created, Osawa, has the potential to render this weapon useless. Right now, Okushi Pharmaceutical possesses the sole means to combat UA. Makino's lip curled into a boastful grin. Any number of countries would have loved to get their hands on it. The major power in question has offered an unprecedented sum. And that's hardly a surprise. Having a monopoly on the antiviral makes the weapon itself that much more valuable. To Osawa, this was a glimpse into another terrifying world, one he had barely imagined previously. Ooh, did the sound not play? Oh wait, my sounds are a little broken right now. All my overlay is a little broken. XD. Background character is still acting. This is true. This is true. Also, hello, Immortal Code. How's it going? Oh, it did play. Just really delayed. XD. But this is true. This is true. I guess my point is, like, you know, like, they're still acting, but it's not like prolonged acting. They don't need to act out a whole scene for like 20 minutes. It's really, you know, if they just want to have a really big acting burst for like 10 seconds, they can get this single frame shot they need. And I guess devs could do that too. Untrained actors could try and take a stab at it too. Makino shrugged. I explained full well to these locals what the risks of experimentation were, and they were paid in accordance with said risks. They were willingly consented to infection with the UA virus. Sophistry. Osawa huffed. Nothing more. You used money to deceive a bunch of poor farmers. Come on, Osawa. Who's being disingenuous now? Makino eyed him with contempt and let out another puff of smoke. Eee! Oh, it's just really quiet. I heard it. I know you, Osawa, and I know you're not really concerned for some bunch of hick farmers. All you care about is your research. The thing that's really nagging you right now is that someone went ahead and did the final clinicals without you. Oh, spare me the ridicule, sir. As a virologist, I have a moral duty to... To what? Makino barked. Go to the media with this? Do you have any idea how much money the company has thrown at your lab to keep it up and running? Osawa gaped. Imagine having a camera right up to your eye and not blinking. I mean, you can blink, but you know, they just take a screenshot of when the eye's open. Just spamming because I'm ADHD and get bored all the time. You know, remember the days when you could really spam those sound bits? Because now I have a cooldown on them. Man, those were funny days. XD. I do appreciate all the company has done for me, sir. He spoke so quietly that his voice was nearly inaudible. In any event, Makino said, now that you know about the human testing, I can't let you go to America. How do you know about that? He'd insisted that I keep his planned relocation a secret, but apparently she told her father regardless. If you insist on making the move anyway, I'll use any means to stop you. This is blackmail, bro. Makino regarded Osawa with bloodshot gaze. Any means necessary? Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. Sir, you don't mean that my daughter's kidnapping was... Don't be ridiculous, Makino said before he could finish. Of course that wasn't me. Nevertheless, I'll do what I must to keep you in line. Remember that. Understood, sir. I'll turn down the US job offer. Osawa heard his own voice like the thin drone of a tiny insect. He felt utterly powerless. I can't simply take your own word on that. Makino said, do it now. I want to hear you do it myself. Okay, once we finish this phone call scene, I'm gonna end the stream, probably. First!
Hey, Life Iris, how's it going? How was Din Din?
I've got some spicy predictions to drop for you, but I'm gonna finish the scene first. He jutted his jaw towards the phone in the backseat console. Alright, Osawa said, but he had no choice but to fall in the line. Couldn't this wait just a little bit? Osawa asked. Maybe he could still find a way out. Fall into line. We'll see what it does. Alright, Osawa said. He had no choice but to fall in line. It would be around 10 p.m. local time for the American firm. He decided to call his contact's personal phone. The headhunter was shocked to hear that Osawa wanted to decline the position. When he pressed for the reasons behind the decision, Osawa hung up. Visibly relieved, Makino lit up a fresh cigar. So there's one thing I don't understand. And what's that? Osawa's head was feeling fuzzy. The smoke inside the vehicle had gotten extremely thick. If someone has this top-secret information, why wouldn't they threaten the company as a whole? Why send those emails to me personally? I'm not sure. There's an internal investigation already underway. We'll find the source of the leak soon enough. At this point, though, Osawa wasn't sure who originally the info mattered. Wasn't sure knowing who originally the info mattered all that much to him. If you'll beg my pardon then, sir, Osawa said. He put his hand on the door handle. A sudden high-pitched chirp sounded from his pocket. The bug tracker Kajiwara had given him had picked up a signal. Is that your cell? Makino asked. Ah, yes, that's mine. Hurriedly, he hopped out of the car and reached into his pocket. Everything alright, sir? The driver was still waiting outside the car. He leaned toward Osawa, looking concerned. Is it you? Osawa stepped close to the driver. Hmm? Did you send me those emails? What are you talking about, sir? Don't play dumb with me, Osawa said. You're the only person who could have planted a listening device on a company car. Listening device? The driver raised an eyebrow in confusion. What are you after? Sir, what are you talking about? Who told you to do it? Tell me! The driver fled back into the car. Osawa clutched the bug tracker as hard as he watched the vehicle pull away. Oh man, we shouldn't have played the first 20 minutes of Osawa's story. We're ending on an even worse cliffhanger, but you know what? We carry on. This is just getting too suspenseful. I'm also fully out of water. He went back to his house, still gripped by confusion, finding Ai waiting in the entryway. This is bad. She must have gotten home while he was out. You were with my father, weren't you? She sneered at Osawa as he slipped off his shoes. Yes, I was, he replied, and it's over. What's over? She knows damn well what. He struggled to contain his irritation. America, I'm not going, he huffed. Really? Well, that is good news. She sounded sincerely pleased. Maybe a little more pleased than Osawa cared for. Eee! Indeed. I need to finish up some work things, he mumbled. He hurried to his study up on the second floor. He threw himself down in front of his computer. There hadn't been any progress on the investigation, as usual. Just how long was this all going to go on for? Were all kidnapping cases this drawn out? Osawa was growing more and more uneasy. He could barely contain himself at this point. Wasn't there anything that he could do? He glanced over at his monitor. That's an idea. He could look up the kidnapping investigations on the internet. That might give him some insight to the current situation. Kidnapping, police investigations, hostages. He typed 3 keywords into the search field. That's great. That's very prescriptive. The engine pulled over 100,000 hits. He scanned the beginning of the list for anything that might be useful. One of the site links caught his eye. How the police do it. It looked like a page containing information on various types of police cases. He clicked on the link for kidnapping cases and began to read. Even if the hostage wound up safe in the end, the site informed him the police lost face if the culprit got away, and if the hostage were killed and the kidnapper evaded capture, the media would have a field day. This made apprehending the suspect an absolute necessity. Even if a person's life was on the line, when it came to kidnapping case, the police prioritized making the arrest. Taking his hands off the mouse, Osawa sat back and thought. He wasn't going to be able to relax until he heard Maria's voice again. But if the police prioritized arresting the suspect, then why were they just letting things stay in limbo now? Didn't they have the crooks under surveillance? He couldn't wrap his head around that. The internet hadn't been able to give him the info he'd hoped for after all. Unable to do anything for Maria, but wait, he turned his thoughts on how his opportunity to transfer to the US had passed him by. The research facilities in America would have been top tier. Some part of him still couldn't quite accept what had happened. He stole a quick look back at the door, then surfed to the Aya Kamiki fan community for people 40 and over. Whenever something was weighing on his mind, posting to these forums seemed to turn his mood back around. He knew that now wasn't really the time to be doing this, but he needed to do something to calm and quiet his mind. He started a new forum topic. In the title he wrote, Aya Kamiki, expanding into the US. With Aya Kamiki still at the height of her popularity, does anyone think it'd be exciting if she ventured into the American market? I know I would. She's not the sort of artist who deserves to be confined to Japan. She should be recording at an American studio staffed by the industry's best. I'd love to see her career really take off overseas. Over there. He's not really 40. He's probably 40-ish. Well, maybe, yeah, he's in his 40s. He's got 2, 18-year-old daughters. Late 40s. He wound up getting into a little back and forth with himself. Hopefully he'd get a response from someone else soon. A sudden shrill noise startled him so much that he nearly cried out. His heart fluttered like that of a young child who'd been caught in some prank. Realizing the sound was coming from the bug tracker, he pulled it from his pocket and took a few breaths to steady himself. Evidently someone has bugged his study as well. Tracker in hand, he walked toward the center of the room. What direction was the signal coming from? He tried heading over toward the window. There, maybe? Next he headed over to his desk. Here, too? The bug tracker's picking up signals from all over the room. There had been that many listening devices. Had there been that many listening devices planted in here? Mr. Osawa? It's Kajiwara. Perfect timing. Osawa hurried to let the detective into the study. The bug tracker's picking up signals. Oh? Yes, from all over the room. What should I do? Mr. Osawa, please calm down. As if that's even possible right now. It feels like there must be 10, there might be 100 listening devices in here. Kajiwara didn't miss a beat. Let me be honest with you. That bug tracker is broken. What? Osawa was dumbfounded. Broken, but this is the one I got from you, right? Well, yes, but mine isn't detecting anything. Kajiwara produced an identical bug tracker from his pocket. And, as he said, it wasn't getting any signal. As I recall, Mr. Osawa, that one was dropped on the floor when I was trying to hand it to you. Ah, that's right. That must have been what broke it, sir. The strength ebbed from Osawa's body. He didn't even have the mental energy to be angry anymore. Bruh, as if that broke it. He gave the tracker a whack with the palm of his hand and the beeping stopped. Right, he said. What can I do for you? Kajiwara clapped his hands together as if he just remembered something. We have a big problem. The toilet again, Osawa sighed. No, it's not that. It's something worse. Kajiwara's face turned grim. Something worse? Had something happened to Maria? He needed to hear the detective out. There was no way it could be that important. Osawa didn't need to listen to this clown. Let's ask about Maria. Had something happened to Maria? He needed to hear the detective out. What is it? Osawa asked. Go on, tell me. He did his best to remain composed. Well, you see, we ordered lunches for everyone, and it looked like there were 2 of them still left over, so I wound up eating them. There was an awkward pause. Osawa didn't have the foggiest idea how to respond. My deepest apologies, sir. I ate the lunches intended for you and your wife. Dude, I love this guy. Kajiwara bowed profusely. They were tonkatsu bento boxes, and they were delicious. The meat was so tender, and the batter so crisp with each and every bite. The rich flavor just filled my mouth even more and more. This dude is so funny. Osawa felt a blood vessel burst in his skull. Listen, you get your goddamn act together. Or, he didn't get to finish that thought. A pathetic little gurgle sounded from his stomach. Ah, see, Kajiwara said, you are hungry. He fussed sheepishly with his hair. At the talk of food, Osawa realized abruptly he hadn't eaten anything since the night before. Shall I make something for you? The detective asked. This is my fault after all. You can cook? Osawa wasn't sure how thrilled he was with the idea of Kajiwara helping him. You mustn't judge people based on outward appearances, Mr. Osawa. Alright, fine. Go right ahead then. His newfound hunger was making it hard for him to think. It would certainly behoove him to eat something. He led Kajiwara to the kitchen. What's with that getup? It's cute. Wearing an apron in the kitchen is a must, sir. Alas, it isn't while I'm naked. What? Okay, I'm just checking the time real quick. We'll finish the Osawa chapter. Osawa, as far as we can at least. Alas, it isn't while I'm naked. Naked? Not familiar with the concept of a naked apron? That's quite alright. Where'd you get that apron anyways? It's mine, sir. Have you had it with you this whole time? He's like, I don't leave home without it. Yes. In here. With a smile, Kajiwara pointed to his pocket. Of course, Osawa eased himself into a chair. His hunger was making him feel weak, and Kajiwara was making him feel like he was losing his mind. Oh my. Naked apron. Yeah, I don't want to know. This is bad that Tex said. I need to whip something up for you fast. Something's definitely wrong if you don't have a comeback. Osawa felt his anxiety mounting. Just what sort of food was this insufferable oaf going to make anyways? Probably nothing worth eating was his bet. You know, I trust Tanaka. Maybe it was better to ask Tanaka to make him lunch instead. Oh wait, Tanaka's the guy with... Oh shoot, okay. I got the characters mixed up. Osawa gave him a hurried phone call, and his assistant director was quick to agree. I'm having Mr. Tanaka help me here, he told Kajiwara. By all means, go back to your investigation. Kajiwara said, I hope you don't think I'm not inclined to help you out. Since when had helping out been Kajiwara's strong suit? Don't be mean! That's not the issue, Osawa said. My, it's such a shame, my friend being treated like a stranger. Oh, how would I love if you were an actual stranger to me. While Osawa was still struggling to turn down Kajiwara's assistance, Tanaka arrived, his sleeves rolled up. He had already removed his jacket and necktie. Alright, he said, what are we making? He sounded happy enough, apparently he didn't mind cooking. This was the side of Tanaka Osawa had never seen before. Well, will you be helping us out as well, Detective? Tanaka regarded Kajiwara in his apron. Of course. It's part of my duties while I'm stationed here. Understood. Let's get started then, shall we? The pair began rummaging around the kitchen, forming an immediate bond of camaraderie. Kajiwara peered into the refrigerator. Goodness, you are remarkably understocked, he said. Let's see, could you please put these in the dinger, Mr. Osawa? The detective handed Osawa some frozen lumps of rice. You want to help me out? You want me to help out? Of course! It's your rice after all. Osawa wasn't sure how to respond to that. Please go ahead and ding those. Ding? I'm afraid I'm not familiar with dinging. I mean, heat them from the microwave oven, sir. Osawa stepped over to the microwave. Unfortunately, he had no idea how to work the controls. You should thaw out that rice as soon as possible, Kajiwara said. I'm actually not sure how to operate this thing. What? The detective gasped. You don't know how to use a microwave? Bruh moment. Kajiwara gave him a look of disbelief. It should be as simple as turning the dial. Osawa turned the dial labeled thaw, and crossed his arms in a satisfied grin.
Ew, oh no, where'd it go? There's a bug. A really big bug on the floor. It has a lot of legs. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where the fuck did it go? I wanna cry. Where'd it go? I'm gonna pass out. Gotcha, you little bastard! Ew, it's on my sock! I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna burn the It's like a silverfish, I think. I sleepy. Hope you have a great night. Have a good night, Kevin. Is it a roach? It's not a roach. I think it's like a silverfish. Fast little fuckers with a lot of legs. Dude, you always have bugs in your room. The fuck? I don't always have bugs in my room, but it's been getting warmer. I was just like chilling and I see it like crawling out of the corner of my eye and I'm like, oh, I cease to exist now. Listen, spiders, I'll leave them alone. I like spiders. Spiders are good. But, like, little house centipedes and silverfish, I don't like. I don't like. Big F for bug friend. I'd do it again. I tried to step on it at first with my slipper, and then I took my slippers off, and then I had to squash it with my sock. I'm glad I'm wearing socks. Or my foot with socks on. Okay. Anyways, I just nearly died on the inside, but Mr. Osawa, I'm sure you already know this, but you need to put the rice in first, then turn the dial. Dude, this guy's useless. Osawa swallowed quietly. He put the frozen rice into the microwave and turned the dial once more. Icky, yeah, got bug guts all over my shoe. I don't know what everyone expects, he muttered silently. It's not like I've ever used one of these things before. Yeah, but you should have, dum-dum. Mr. Osawa, why don't you take this and go wait somewhere? Kajiwara pulled out a sheet of bubble wrap from his pocket. What is this for? Use your fingers to pop the bubbles. That should help you calm down. Too drained to argue, Osawa did his prompting and started popping his way along the sheet. Well, Mr. Tanaka said, Kajiwara said after they'd spent a little time working at the stove, you probably don't need to stay any longer. Sorry for the trouble. It's quite alright, Tanaka replied. With so little in the way of ingredients, I guess there wasn't much I could really do. I'll leave this in your hands, detective. Are you sure you don't mind? Should I go out and purchase some more ingredients? No, that's fine. Thank you for all the trouble. No, I apologize for not being more helpful. Tanaka washed his hands and left the kitchen. Rather than calm him down, though, it was making him incredibly cross. This felt more like some sort of ridiculous punishment. They say you can learn a lot about household by looking in the fridge, you know. Kajiwara was cooking something in a frying pan. And? Osawa asked, what have you just learned about mine? I'd better not say, sir. You might take offense. Osawa snapped another bubble between his fingers. The rice is finished thawing. Kajiwara topped the steaming bowl of rice with the fried egg he whipped up in the pan. As if it were an afterthought, he added some pickled vegetables. Ooh. Here you are, sir. Your fried egg on rice is complete. Kajiwara grinned from ear to ear. Go ahead and eat it while it's still warm. Osawa received the bowl with a dubious look. You're very good at cooking, are you? And all you had in your refrigerator were eggs and pickled vegetables, sir. I assure you, it's quite delicious. I recommend breaking the yolk and mixing it all together. Reluctantly, Osawa brought a bite to his mouth. That's good. The words came out almost unbidden. Isn't it just egg yolk and pickled vegetables pair quite well? Osawa couldn't help but stuff his face, slipping into a rapturous daze as he did. The more he ate, the more it stirred his appetite. I had no idea fried eggs could be this delicious. I know you probably have a long ordeal still ahead of you, sir, but please keep your chin up and hang in there. Kajiwara gave Osawa an amiable smile. That's right, he continued. And for dessert, we have bananas. No thank you. Kajiwara grimaces. Osawa held up a hand in refusal. Right then. When you're finished, would you please wash the bowl? Me? Wash dishes? Osawa exclaimed in surprise, sounding like a petulant child. If someone cooks for you, you should do the cleaning up. It's only polite. Fine, okay. While Osawa was doing the dishes, the bug detector went off again. Director, you have a moment?
Tanaka poked his head into the kitchen. Got something to discuss with you. Oh, keep out. Alright. What a brat. I know, right? Okay, no, for real. We need to end stream, because it's quite late. I need to use the bathroom, and my throat is quite parched, because I have gone through all of my water. But anyways, sus! Tanaka feels kind of sus, honestly. Like, Tanaka, specifically. Anyways, okay, like, I kind of want to wrap up stream because it is 11, and I don't want to be making too much of a ruckus. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I, like, have been trying to speak a little quieter. But you guys mostly did hear my predictions earlier when I almost ended stream, XD. Life Virus, I will, I'll message you later with my predictions right after stream. So thank you again, everyone, for coming by. Love you guys. Good night, Potato. Love you all too. But I will message you afterwards, Life Virus, after I use the bathroom, XD, with my predictions. And so thank you again for coming by, everyone. Next stream is going to be on Thursday. We'll be back with our normal art, our regularly scheduled art stream. And have a good rest of your days, and I shall see y'alls on Thursday. Bye-bye now!